The future is coming. Make it brighter with Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to turn your idea into a unique website. That's right. You can showcase your work, publish content. Get that content on the internet. Sell some products or some services in just a few clicks with Squarespace. You can customize everything. Look and feel, settings, products. They've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers, and there's nothing to install or patch or upgrade ever. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code Bombcast to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Hi, it is Tuesday, March the 13th, 2018.
Hey.
We have survived the San Francisco apocalypse that is a light rain to bring you the Giant Bombcast.
It's still going.
It's not over yet.
No.
Yeah, we're sheltering in place.
It's supposed to pick up again around 4, so...
Oh, man.
Good.
It got a little heavy yesterday. I had to walk through that rain.
Oh, yeah.
I
think I heard thunder this morning.
picked up my family.
Did you
and
get
we
wet?
walked through the rain.
Man, the humanity of it all.
Yeah. I had to buy a... what's it called? Umbrella. One of those things.
Weird.
We got into town,
just
and it's
brutal.
like, oh, geez, it's coming down. We should get an umbrella.
Yeah.
So we went to Daiso, like right across the street from
Okay.
the
Japanese umbrella?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The clear
Japanese
kind?
dollar umbrella.
No, I looked at the clear ones. They were like a weird form of paper plastic, but thinner, I think. It would have probably disintegrated in the rain.
Was it a parasol, maybe?
No. What was a parasol? Did they have ribbons on it?
That's like if you want to cosplay.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Have a nice cosplay umbrella.
Exactly.
You want to moonlight as a geisha or something.
But I got a nice $3 one. It looked like
Yeah.
a normal ass umbrella. Open that bitch up and
Japanese
just-
umbrellas are awesome.
it broke.
The ones that are a dome around you.
The clear dome ones.
I much prefer
no,
that
yeah.
as somebody
I didn't
whose
get that.
eyes are at umbrella level.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
like walking down the
Yeah.
street.
There's always that uncomfortable when you knock umbrellas and it gets caught up on the other. Anyway, my goddamn umbrella broke. So my $3, I upsold myself on an umbrella.
Got what you paid for.
I didn't go for
I
the
bet that
cheap
other one wouldn't have
$1.50
broke.
one. It probably
You should have paid the extra $1.50 for umbrella insurance.
Damn it.
Then you could have brought it back and been like, "What the fuck?"
Damn it. Yeah, I opened the thing up and the goddamn handle just kept going. It completely separated from the rest of it.
So it sounds like we didn't all make it through the apocalypse.
No, not unscathed.
I mean, whatever.
My pants are still wet.
It only took me 2 hours to get here, as opposed to the normal 55 minutes.
Right.
So that's
gross.
I'm looking forward to it picking up again around 4. Just in time for.
Things happen on the road around here.
Yeah,
When it gets wet.
No, zero accidents, zero actual incidents. Just oh shit, it's raining. Fuck everything. I'm dying. Not even raining that hard. People just still too stupid to handle it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like a little hydroplaning. It's very Ridge Racer when suddenly you don't have control over your car.
Makes you feel alive.
Good reminder.
totally.
Yeah.
That moment is
For
like,
a
all right,
moment,
whoa. It's fun.
Heart stops for a second.
light flashes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this is it. This is how I go out.
God, that's the worst feeling.
Of the one of oh shit, I'm gonna die here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hydroplane.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
sure.
It
Or
can't be a
skidding
worse.
in snow. It's well, shit, my brake's on. No, here we go. All right.
I've at least gotten good at not
Jesus,
slamming
take the
on my
wheel.
brakes when situations like that arise, because that's not going to help. Most of
Exactly.
the time.
Unless you hit the brakes and then turn, and so you do a cool spin around and then drive back.
Yeah, no, that's what you want to turn to the outside of the curve as you're going around the curve, and then you do a whipping 360 around, and you straighten out right at the last minute. That's a good way to earn turbo when you drive like that.
Sounds like a GoBot maneuver.
That's exactly what Crasher or perhaps Turbo,
Which one's-
or Copter. Copter would not do it
which
because
one's
Copter
Crasher, the
Crash is the lady here on the end
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
That,
The name's right
she
there.
steps on the ground and makes electricity appear.
Oh, that's a good power.
She, like the rest of the GoBots, sucks.
But what about the motorcycle guy? He's kind of cool.
Scooter here?
No.
Oh, you
Right,
mean
yeah.
Psykill.
Psykill.
He's the He's the leader
He's
of
a
the bad
bad guy.
guys.
Okay.
And he, like the rest of the GoBots, sucks.
I like him because he's got more than 3 colors.
Okay. Fair
Kind
enough.
of.
What about that guy all the way on the left?
This little dude here,
Yeah, what's his power?
he's a guy.
Oh.
He brings the power of human compassion to the
Oh,
GoBot
boo.
team. They're like, we came from planet Gobatron. We don't know what anything
We don't have
is.
what empathy is.
It's
Yeah.
not actually called that.
It is
it?
actually
Is it
called.
really?
It is Planet Gobatron.
Wow, they weren't even trying.
No, I've been watching some GoBots a little bit lately.
You got to try that pretty hard to come up with something like that.
Don't fucking it's yo.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Shit is bad.
Mm.
Like I'm enjoying myself watching it, but it's not a good show.
Was it also out
It
of
never
Japan?
was. I don't think.
Huh?
I don't know.
Like Transformers actually was.
I don't know if the cartoon was.
Sure it was.
But the
Oh, you mean GoBots?
GoBots,
Yeah.
the toys themselves, I
Yeah.
believe,
Okay.
come from a similar background.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't care.
I think whoever it was, it Hasbro that owns the Transformers license. I think they
Sounds about
also
right.
own the GoBots
What?
license now.
Oh,
It's
now they do.
Transformers
Yeah.
for-
Okay. Just bought up the
Smaller
competition.
Yeah, just it's
Just
all
so they could bury it.
Yeah.
yeah, all under one roof here.
They're the Duplo of the
They're like,
toy world.
Leader
really.
one is a shitty jet. Look at Starscream.
I think Duplo's the Duplo of the toy world.
No, the GoBots are
Okay.
Mhm.
definitely.
And these are all toys you will not be able to find once all the Toys R Us is shut down.
R.I.P.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Mm.
Yeah, thanks, Bain Capital.
Mm.
I'm getting some good ass deals though.
I gotta go find that ghost in that South Bay Toys R Us.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's haunted, right?
I think that. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, gotta go find that before they close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ghosts can't.
It'll be a lot
Stay
easier
in somewhere
if
that's
the
shut
store
down.
if the store shuts down. Then it'll be way easier to find the ghost.
You think?
Yeah.
What if it just winds up possessing a toy?
It's gonna.
Yeah, what if its
Oh,
power
okay.
amplifies?
It's
'cause
gonna do
there's
some
no
Chucky
humans around?
shit.
I think if a ghost could possess a toy and get out of a Toys R Us, it would have done that by now.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. I'll buy all the Ouija boards,
Uh-huh.
set them all up,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Kinda-
abandon Toys R Us.
What kind of toy would you possess if you were a ghost? Like a big wheels drive out of there?
Oh, like it's
Ah.
kind of cool. That might be all right.
Or maybe a drone if they sell drones now? You could
they
just
probably
do.
sell. Yeah.
Probably a real doll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They sell the drones at Toys R Us like they used to sell the video games, and like the slot things.
Yeah.
Remember that? You pull out a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Drones.
That was the experience.
Mhm.
Drones. I
Still
almost bought
haven't
a
used my
Spider-Man
drone.
drone.
I still haven't taken my drone out of my box. It's still
That's
What kind of drone do you have?
Hang on
just
to
like
it.
this little. It was on an Amazon Markdown error.
Bring it in. I want to play with it.
Okay, I'll bring it in.
Okay, cool.
It needs batteries.
Hang on.
maybe
to
I'll
it
bring
till you
in
need
the
it.
drone that I have had for many years that
Oh,
is still in
and
a
we'll
box.
strap knives to them and
Yeah.
fight each other.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I'll get my
Finally.
drone and film the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Drone party.
Drone party.
Speaking of real doll,
I'm gonna blow up a building.
Speaking of real doll, that's what I would be.
did you guys see that?
I am 8-bit.
Yes, that Inside Collector's Edition last week that got announced.
Yep.
Man, if that thing wasn't so expensive, I would totally buy that.
I mean,
How
they
much we
haven't
talking?
shown what it is.
They haven't shown what it is,
inside,
but there's only one thing
There's
it could
only
be.
one thing it could be.
If they have real
Well, how
doll
much? How much?
working
Let's-
with it,
let's do
it's
the math.
three. It's $375.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's way too high for an impulse purchase.
What's a fleshlight go for?
I don't know.
Way less than. I mean, I don't know.
I bet that's going to be a very realistic wad of flesh with limbs sticking out of it.
Spoilers.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Realistic wad of flesh.
But here's the real. Is the
Say it.
Take your time. Take your time.
can you fuck it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You, Jeff.
What do you think I was gonna say?
Jeff, you can fuck anything if you
What?
try hard enough.
All right, great. This is great news.
Remember the guy with the cars?
Like, do I need two of them to really make this work,
it
or
does.
no, you
doesn't
just,
hurt.
you just need a knife.
do I okay, like a pocket knife
Just
or
need a
something like
knife.
that?
What?
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going. With
It is
that line.
weird.
We should not. Nobody buy one of those things. But hey, I
This is
am
what
a bit. If
happens
you
when it
want to send
rains.
one of those things over, we'll test it out for you.
On
Wait,
camera.
wait, no.
No, we won't. That was the fake news from last week. Let's say the news that did not make the cut.
We're gonna,
But we have.
we're gonna bolt one of those things from inside to a Novint Falcon,
Okay.
and then retire as billionaires.
Okay, great. Yeah, that piston action.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I've got a Novint Falcon under my desk.
That's true.
Why is it under?
That's true. You do.
What are you doing?
What?
With it?
No, I just set it aside.
Spend a lot of time.
It just
at
showed
your
up
desk.
somewhere. There's a ton of news this week, so we should talk about it now.
Okay.
As
Just
opposed to
lay it
later.
out.
Breaking news.
A bunch of stuff happened
Let's do it.
There's
over the
news.
last week. I guess we have to talk about Fortnite first now. I guess that's where we're at.
Oh, you mean the
No.
biggest game in the
That
world?
gets top
Yeah.
billing now. Okay.
That's not what I would have chosen, but it seems like we are required.
I mean, this is a fairly interesting story.
It is an interesting thing. Like it has me interested, and I don't even really care about Fortnite.
What is it?
They announced Fortnite for mobile. First for
Of
iOS.
course.
First for iOS. Android sounds like is a few months away.
Just some like
But-
shitty free to play thing.
No, it is. Well, it is free to play. Yes.
Okay.
But it is. They are swearing up and down. It is the exact same game.
Like connects to the same servers.
Yeah.
Like it is.
That's
it is
ridiculous.
Some
I'll
battle
read-
royale.
I'm just going to
Fortnite
read
action.
this line from them.
No.
We believe this is the future of games. The same game on all platforms.
Oh, I thought they were going to say phones, man. Everyone's got one.
The same game on all platforms. Console quality graphics and action. Play when you want, where you want.
Unless you're like in a tunnel.
Yes.
Right.
This is some cross server, like
Yes.
cross
Like
play.
you literally can play on your phone against people on consoles and PC.
What?
Yeah, it's bizarre. I
It's-
want to
it's-
see
that's
that
cool.
port just to see how it plays.
Well, I think that was the thing there is like, okay, what kind of external controller support does it have?
Sure,
And
or did they come up with a
how
touch-
are the touchscreen controls? Because it would have to have them. It's not going to
Exactly,
only
yeah.
support external shit.
Yeah, or who would play
That
it?
could make
Right.
building really, really quick. That sounds like if
Maybe.
you
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Like the building in Fortnite is pretty optimized for like
Yeah.
a controller or a mouse and keyboard type thing. Like
it is, but
doesn't.
The nice thing is you don't have to build, or you actually can't build and shoot at the same time. So if
Yeah.
you're swapping back and forth, that reduces the amount of things you have to do at the same time on a phone screen, which could make things
Sure.
a little easier on that
Yeah.
front.
Yeah.
The important thing is like aiming, though. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
is there generous like auto assist?
Well, that's. I
with
mean,
that?
maybe
Isn't that
Maybe
kind
there
of
would
how
be.
it started out, and they're making it more realistic over time, or something?
I think that they've run. I can't say for sure, but I will say that like having played it recently, which they've been running tests on like ballistics and changing the shooting and stuff like that.
They change it every couple of weeks.
Yeah, so I don't know how they feel about it these days. I will say that having played it, some of it off and on over the past couple of weeks, I still don't like the shooting that much. In a way that I think actually would make it work okay on a phone.
right. Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have
I see what you're
it's
saying.
not the same type of precision
yeah.
that you would expect from like a PC shooter, which is fine. I mean, whatever. I play a lot of Call of Duty on a console, so like I'm not like snobbish about mouse and keyboard controls or any of that bullshit. Like it's different platforms, different expectations, all that. But making that fair for everybody and all that stuff is a little weird. And it seems like the way that they've maybe even addressed that on console is like on PS4 you can plug in a keyboard. And I assume
Mouse
a
as
mouse.
well?
I assume
Okay.
a mouse, but it does have a menu for key bindings.
Cool.
So I assume it has external support for that.
A couple things to note about this. They do have like a mobile only hopper. Like you can opt to only play against other people on.
And that's how the
on
console
mobile.
versions work also.
Oh, is it?
By,
Is
by
it?
default, it's
Okay.
it's console only, and then if you're partied with
Oh.
someone who's on the PC, you will migrate to the PC servers.
Sounds like with this, you don't even need a party. You can just opt into the playlists that have the other platforms if you want. But they can't opt into yours. You can just play against phones.
Oh man, I was hoping to get my first solo win.
Also,
Jan won on Friday, man.
Hell yeah, man.
You've been replaced as the Fortnite editor.
All right.
Fortnite champion right here.
that's true. Yeah, that
You
was
can have my battle pass.
that was a scrappy win.
Yeah.
You got revived like 3 times.
Yep.
and you were down when you won.
That
But
was really good.
you made it. What was the other thing? Oh, they announced at the time of the initial announcement that PS4 could play against PC, Mac, and iOS.
Well, no. So it's been like that. Well, okay. I guess the announcement is
yes, the
the
announcement
phones,
was
the
hey,
phones are the new things.
But
there.
Xbox was conspicuously absent from that list, and then they very hastily put up another blog post saying, "Hey, Xbox can also play with all those platforms except
That's
PS4."
nice.
Right.
I like when everyone can.
And now everybody in the world is blaming Sony for not letting Xbox and PS4 play together,
As they should.
which is how it's been.
That's how it's been framed
But
up.
this is
for almost a year now.
This is a fresh round of people getting pissed off that Sony is blocking this from just being one big happy family.
So here's the thing. I wonder. Well, we'll see how this goes. So whatever. This to me is Xbox has been left out for a while because PS4 and PC could play together, and Xbox has kind of been left in the cold because of Sony's stuff.
Right.
If you believe what everyone has been saying, which seems like the way it is.
Even Phil
Sony,
Spencer,
Phil
even Phil
Spencer's out there
Spencer
going
weighed
like,
in.
yeah,
weighed in on
we would
this.
fucking love to do this.
Somebody
at E3 last year, we were talking about it.
Yeah,
with Minecraft.
Well, it happened again like the last few
And
days.
Rocket
on,
League.
on Twitter, he said,
Yeah.
somebody. So I think it was maybe somebody at Epic said like, "Hey, we'd love to do it if Sony was into it."
Yeah.
And Phil just responded and said, "Me too."
Yeah.
They're down, he's down.
So yeah, I mean, of course, yes, and of course, Sony as the market leader is going to be like, no, how about no?
I guess.
I
don't know.
think, but I think that's a flimsier excuse as time
Yes,
goes on.
yes,
Like
it
the
is.
market leader thing is like you understand why they would do that in a like kind of shitty protect the business sort of move,
Yeah.
but I don't think that
I
think
don't
it's
know.
lame.
What are they really gaining?
nothing.
Like tangibly?
I don't think I didn't like nothing.
Very little. And like increasingly, especially as this is like kind of the biggest game going, like they're just starting to look like a fucking wet blanket.
Yeah. So
When everybody is saying they want this.
yeah. So here's the thing I wonder is, okay, let's look at how this seems to work based on, and I've not done this much. We did it when they brought the game by for that quick look.
Mm-hmm.
We played PC and PS4 in the same game. And so that's the extent of my experience of knowingly getting into a cross-platform game. But okay. My understanding is that when you are on a console, by default, like you said, you play with other people on your console. If you partner up with someone who's on the PC, if you party up with them because it's got the friends list, the Epic Launcher, all that other stuff, you then move to the PC servers.
Okay.
So if a PS4 player does that, and then someone in a totally separate party on Xbox does that, do they end up in the same match? And they just kind of can't advertise it as such, but it's totally going to go down.
Let's try it out.
Like
We should try that.
Like that's the thing.
odds of us getting into the
Yeah,
same match
right,
is so
yeah.
astronomical.
it would be very.
I mean, the only thing we could try is to try to get everyone into a single party, which maybe would. I don't know. Like, you know, at this point, it is PS4 talks to everything except for Xbox is how they're advertising it,
Yeah.
and Xbox talks to everything except for PS4.
Yeah.
But the process by which they do that ends up connecting to this kind of centralized server infrastructure that is the PC, that is going to be these mobile versions when those hit. So yeah,
And Fortnite is the game where they accidentally enabled
yeah,
crossplay for like 6 hours or something.
accidentally.
A few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so that says like, hey, this is totally possible.
Yeah.
Like this is absolutely doable.
In fact, this is done.
This is done. The work is So I wonder if this is just going to be the like when this does finally roll out, or has it rolled out to Xbox players? Because like PS4 could play with PC. I don't know if Xbox could play with PC before or not. Like I'm not. I'm not up on that.
So
Okay.
this Fortnite blog post is written in like the future tense.
Okay.
Like, Xbox cross-platform play coming to Fortnite.
Okay. So that's what I wonder is as soon as that rolls out, will you actually start to see Xbox players and PS4 players in the same game, even if they can't, even if through like some business bullshit, they can't necessarily be in the exact same party.
Right.
They just put on opposite teams.
Or will they just be in the
Fight
same
to
party
death.
and they can't be this just can't be advertised as such, and this is just kind of like some quiet wink and nod, like, hey, we don't want to set precedent for other games to get waivers to have cross-platform play, but we're going to look the other way on this because it is the biggest game in the world. I don't know. That seems to me potentially possible. I don't know how that would go. But
I'm super curious about this
That's-
mobile thing, though. I want to see.
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah.
see it running,
I
see
mean,
how it plays.
Yeah, I've seen, the processing power of, tablets and stuff, and the shit can look really good.
Recent phones are real fast.
I
Yeah.
imagine I'll see a lot of children at restaurants on their phone playing Fortnite.
God.
yeah, I wonder if this will be the time, because right now I feel like I only see Fortnite when it's like when there are news stories like this.
Yeah.
And when the people from Epic I follow on Twitter are retweeting football players talking about Fortnite. Like that is the
Oh, yeah.
extent of contact of people of me seeing Fortnite stuff. Because I guess I don't go out to dinner that much. But I wonder, once
Still.
this is out there.
Like, you hear about it. You know it's, absolutely huge.
If it
Well, I
plays-
guess like that's the thing is like they put out their announcements talking about how huge it is.
Yeah.
And, we hear like you were saying fourth grade teacher or something that has kind of replaced
Yeah.
Minecraft as the game every kid is talking about,
Yep.
which makes sense. Like free to play game, like like
You can play with your friends.
a very
like,
now
very
genre.
easy to play with your friends. You
Yeah.
don't have to set up like a server and
Yeah.
hop in and stuff. It's just like,
Yeah. it's all this stuff makes me wish I liked it just a little bit more. Like they're like on paper, I go like, man, this game's fucking rad. Look at all this stuff. Like watching people play it, I'm like, this is exciting. I
played it for the first time in a couple weeks this weekend, and I had a good time with it. I like the little changes that they're doing. I like how quick they are to people. Like it's like if you go to the Fortnite subreddit, you see a lot of like Epic employees commenting on, you know, like ideas and complaints and stuff, like saying like, oh, this is good. And then, you know, you see a post like 2 weeks later that thing is implemented. Like they seem to be on top of the community, which is really good. Like they're responsive in a way that, you know, you'd like to see in some other games.
Sure.
They've got some time now. That, you know, they got rid of Paragon.
Shut down every other game they're making. And,
And they're still adding stuff to save the world. They added like boost pads or something.
Yeah. So is that still the major buy-in? You know, I mean, this is offered
no,
for free, but
it's all
like
cosmetics. It's all
cosmetics
for
battle pass
They're
stuff.
probably their like number one money making thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that there isn't like a grip of battle royale stuff you get from buying the other. From
totally.
I got Founders stuff, which was a reward for pre-ordering or not pre-order. You know, having playing it before it was released, but I don't have anything for like Save the World.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
They still say that like that Save the World stuff will be free when it is like done, and they're still saying that's going to happen sometime this year.
Okay,
so
I believe them on that. Like it seems like it's easier to work on that than something that's growing so exponentially and people are so passionate, let's say, about. And
sure, maybe, yeah.
How cross-platform was like Minecraft? Like obviously you could hop into
it's gotten there. But it depends on the platforms. What is it like? Switch can talk to Xbox, and Xbox can talk to PC.
Yeah.
And I think that might. I think one of the mobile editions can talk to that same cluster as well.
Okay. Wait, they all can talk to each other? Or?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe
but then
so.
PS4 is all by itself, or it's PS4 and PC maybe and mobile.
No, like I think PC, like depending on which PC version you're running. If you're running original Java, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you're running like the Windows 10 store, like current version of Minecraft, then that is definitely tied into the Xbox stuff.
Sure.
Just because that's how Microsoft does everything. But I'm pretty sure Switch and mobile talk to that too.
Super interesting.
That information has left my brain. I knew that at one point.
Sure.
But no longer there.
I am clicking sign up for email invite on Fortnite iOS.
Yeah, they're taking. Yeah, and I don't know. With a developer like Epic and a game the size of Fortnite, I'm sure the Apple restrictions are a little different. I was gonna say like the way they do like private stuff on iOS is typically limited to a smaller number than Epic would probably want. So maybe I wonder if this is like even a big deal for Apple.
Could be
in a way.
I mean, if you know. It is quickly taking on the narrative of being the biggest game out there.
Totally.
So Apple, I'm sure, is fucking stoked.
I mean, we will get to another news story in this list that I feel like only underscores how popular Fortnite has become.
Let's get to it. The player unknown himself posted a big blog post last night, a few days ago. Kind of in the wake of this Fortnite stuff, with the 2018 roadmap for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and the narrative around that is a little.
Well, yeah, I mean, then narratives are narratives, but
people are talking like PUBG Corp is a bit shook. Let's say
that's the impression I get.
The success of Fortnite.
When I look, it's not necessarily the timing of it, but when I look at the changes on their roadmap, you go like, oh, well, this is them blinking. This is them going like, oh, we have to maybe try to move a little bit in the direction of Fortnite.
So the biggest changes on here that
dances.
Yeah, totally. Like the biggest changes that scream that on here are there's a much smaller map rolling out soon, which they explicitly say is, hey, we want to get some shorter matches going, some faster action, just get you in there shooting faster. And they also have rolled out a big emote system. For dances and obscene gestures and such. And then
like a crotch chop.
Maybe.
Let's hope.
Cross shop seems
What's gonna
very on brand for the PUBG.
But I feel
audience.
like that would be that could be a
for
Fortnite
sure.
emote
Oh, for
as
sure,
well.
for sure.
Like crotch chops are just universal.
I feel like
That's
it'd be a
fair.
little less.
Maybe PUBG is like a
intense.
crotch chop,
Yeah.
a 90s wrestling crotch chop,
I
as
feel like
opposed to
the
a 2000s wrestling crotch chop.
The PUBG one probably has more hip thrusts, whereas like the Fortnite one is very much just like I'm giving you the general idea that
Sure,
I'm cross shopping
yeah.
without being very gross and explicit. But
Yeah.
PUBG is just like, no, I'm simulating sex right now.
Gotcha.
Actually, one other Fortnite-esque change that is kind of buried at the end of this thing is they're adding skins for stuff like parachutes,
Oh
which
yeah,
is a super
In
super,
PUBG?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which
Yep.
is super a Fortnite thing.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff in here. There's anti-cheat. There's a bunch of
Oh,
animation stuff. They're adding new vehicles.
That sounds super sizable, but then also they got.
I saw some
emotes.
people
That's
saying that
cool.
they made some anti-cheat changes that broke the client
Yes,
for some
they
people.
did,
Really?
they did roll
which-
some of that stuff back. They rolled out, so a bunch of the changes in this roadmap actually went live on the real game last night. They were in the test client, but the emote system is in. There's an in-game friends list, like separate from your Steam friends list.
Oh,
There's like
I wonder if that points to like a cross-platform.
maybe.
Like,
Yeah, that's-
because why would if it's only on Steam?
Yeah.
Maybe that's something like because in the Chinese market, it's probably like maybe that's just an infrastructure change they made, for China that
Yeah.
they're rolling out here. I don't know.
Gotta think about them Xbox dudes.
Yeah, I think it's emotes, the friends list, and like some voice chat stuff. I think is what rolled out last night.
Okay.
The new map is 4x4 kilometers. They say. I don't know how big the existing maps are, so that doesn't tell me a lot.
8x8.
It might be.
Yeah.
All they say it's a much smaller map and should give you a much more intense and faster paced battle royale experience.
Which I feel like that gets to do some of the complaints that people were having about the second map.
A lot of open spaces.
open space.
Not seeing people for a long time.
Yeah, which we talked about it before, but I think the tension, the quiet moments of Battlegrounds are what makes it work.
Totally.
You would compare this to Turbo Dota.
Yeah. Just getting you in and whipping through a match as fast as possible.
Which it's weird because when they announced Turbo Dota, I was like, me as a non-Dota player, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And now here I am on the other end of this going like,
Yeah,
someone who
now-
has enjoyed Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
Like this kind of sucks out the tension
Yeah.
Now you understand.
of why I appreciate Battlegrounds.
To be fair, like I don't think it's a bad thing this is in here as an option.
Sure,
But
totally.
if they like start surfacing
throw
it,
I
hopper.
also feel like this could very well become the dominant
that's
form
what
of
I mean.
Battlegrounds.
That's what I mean. If this is the Fortnite battle royale to save the world of PUBG, everybody just starts playing this map because they get to shoot all the time.
Right.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But they didn't say how they're going to surface it or how
Right.
the hoppers are going to work. And
Well, if
stuff
you
like that.
delete the maps, then it'll.
Yeah, they have to do some kind of playlist thing after this, right?
I wonder.
Maybe not.
The more
Maybe they just-
options you build into your hoppers and playlists and all this other stuff, like whatever, they have the player count to do it. I was going to say you have to be reliant
sure.
on having enough players because it's a fucking 100-player game.
Yeah.
But as long as they've got the player count where it is, because like it's easy to sit here and go like, oh man, Fortnite, but like Battlegrounds is still fucking really big.
Yeah.
Even if these changes sound reactionary. I guess like maybe it's twofold. In some sense, they feel reactionary to Fortnite, but also the smaller map feels like a direct response to people complaining about that second map, which
Yeah, that's fair.
is a shame. I like that second map. I don't know. I thought it was fun.
I did too.
So what else are they doing to like kind of mix up the formula? I guess like game changing
That's
shit.
kind of it. I mean,
Ballistics changes.
Ballistics.
They're going to be doing like different arm damage. Like they're going to test out.
yeah,
some,
it's
some
real
stuff
real
like
nuts
that.
and bolts, low level stuff.
And animation. They're going to overhaul the animation.
Yeah, animation system stuff. They're doing some work on the sound system, like adding new sound effects around different stuff. Bunch of stability and security stuff with all the hacking.
And I wonder if they'll. I feel like they haven't cracked the nut on like what an esports like they talk up they talk about like, oh, we're revamping our spectator system to be better for replays and stuff like that. But like the core of that game in an esports setting when people are taking it extremely seriously is like fucking people just outside the circle healing over and over again, hoping they don't die.
Yeah.
And then, very strategically moving in, but like not in a way that's like fucking fun to watch.
Also, from like somebody who watches quite a bit of esports, the idea of getting 100 people together to play the game is
Sure.
like you're gonna have trouble following the action, like because they don't have a dedicated camera person for all 100 people. They just
Right.
have a few observers here
Yeah.
and there. And that seems like they need to work on what exactly that
Like
means.
what they're showing.
Yeah.
It's overhead, old style football, X's and O's or something.
Yeah, like-
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
maybe.
feel like anytime, like they ran a tournament relatively recently, but there was that initial one they ran when it was still early access, and I watched some of that.
And that dude totally won by sitting outside of the
and
circle.
I saw the exact same complaints about this more recent stuff.
Really?
And it's just like, all right, well they need demolition derby rules.
Yeah.
For that. Like in a demolition derby, if you're the last car standing but you didn't do shit, you don't fucking win.
Just like most kills.
Yeah.
I mean, like, or kills factor in way higher
Exactly.
than
It's
placement
like
or-
action should place higher than, or at least on par with survival.
Yeah.
Offense and defense need to be
In that
better
game?
balanced.
No, I don't think so.
But
Yeah,
I
'cause
think-
it's completely randomized.
but I
as
think
to what
it-
you get and like.
But that's the
sometimes
game.
the better player is the one that hides better. That's.
I think you
it's
got to find
hard
a balance.
yeah,
Like I think
yeah.
it's hard, but I think the balance right now is shifted too far in the direction of
Just get rid of all the
hang out.
items.
Yep.
Yeah, no healing.
The first line of their esports section in this is, seriously, we're not there yet, but we will be.
Yeah,
Like they
totally.
know that they have kind of blown it, but
We'll finish this game at some point.
they mentioned a bunch of spectating changes and stuff like that. They're also rolling out an API.
Yeah.
For just to expose a ton
Stats
of
and-
stats and
Yeah.
player data and
Yep.
stuff like that. I don't know what people end up doing with
I
that.
feel like they've had something already because there's been, you can have like Twitch overlays and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
So I
Yeah,
think the whole-
I can imagine like a Dota buff like service.
Yeah, totally. This says, let's see, player and match data around gameplay performance, match level, season level, and lifetime level data for developers to create compelling resources for players, whatever that means.
Hooks.
Steam achievements was the other thing they added last night.
Oh wow, I didn't know that they didn't have any.
I saw that the China numbers have started to drop a bit in the
Mm.
game, or at least not grow like they have been.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I read somewhere like 50% of the game's players are in China right now.
I wonder if those are players that are moving to the mobile version or moving to, because
Yeah.
they have mobile PUBG over there and
Yeah.
Knives Out, all these other.
I wonder if Fortnite
Games
has
in
a
that style.
presence
Wait, do they have a game called
overseas.
Knives Out?
Yeah, there's a game called Knives Out.
Wow.
You run faster with a knife out.
It's not a
Everyone
game.
knows that.
It's not a fucking game.
Yeah, that's right. No one wins a knife fight.
It's a way of life.
Anyway, yeah, a lot of stuff going on with PUBG.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been fun to follow, and I think I'm interested in checking it out.
It's crazy. Like we ended last year with PUBG just seeming to be the biggest thing ever, and now there is a bigger thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it
And,
always
like, they're
goes.
going head to head,
You
and
know?
like who knows who else is going to get on this mode.
And meanwhile,
coming years.
H1Z1,
Auto Royale, baby,
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
one.
That thing is ridiculous.
except they. We didn't talk about this. Had this happened last week?
What?
No.
That they went free to play?
Oh,
yeah.
Like days after
That's
their
right.
like out of early
Yeah,
access
dude, that's
release.
insane.
Like what the fuck?
Like, how do you
man?
feel if like surely that game got promoted afresh when it came out of early access? So
I
some,
bought it when it
Did
came
you?
out of early access.
So some
yeah.
some people probably bought that thing. Yeah,
I got some
in that window.
crates.
Yeah.
In that short window where they were charging money for it after it quote unquote came out,
Weird.
and then to find out like, well, you said they were processing refunds, right?
My understanding is that you could. I mean, you
Okay.
can always ask for a refund on
Yeah,
Steam, but
yeah.
my understanding is that they were processing some that were
okay,
outside of that
okay.
2-hour window.
'Cause the first thing I heard was they were just giving out some extra crates if you
Right.
had bought it or something, which is like at that point it's like, oh, you mean I could have had this for free if I'd waited a week?
yeah.
Mm.
I'll tell you what. I logged. I opened up that game and opened the crates.
Yeah.
There was a backpack and some other shit.
Yeah,
It was not.
Sick.
Which you can't really see when you're in a vehicle.
It was a purple ATV, which I'm never going to
Oh.
see because I'm never going to play the mode in which you opt to get on a vehicle as opposed to are always in
Forced
a vehicle.
in a vehicle.
Yeah.
The only way they would
Is it
make
a
that,
4-seat like ATV or?
No.
the
Okay.
only way they can make that game better is if you still jump out of an airplane, but just in your car.
In your car. Yeah. That would be the lone improvement they could make.
Can you have a gang of ATVs? Like everybody in your party?
I mean, if you were not in the vehicle mode, yes. You could, if you found enough ATVs, just like in Battlegrounds, if
Sure.
you found enough vehicles, the 2-car strategy is very popular.
Gotcha.
Um,
This does not instill a lot of confidence in me.
well, I mean, that just says to me that like they came out of early access, tried to get behind it one more time and try to promote it, and
Yeah.
people were like, "What?
Yep.
What do you? Oh,
Oh, that
okay."
thing.
I got to pay for this game?
The Heroes of New Earth of Battlegrounds style Battle Royale style games,
Oh, does that make the Arma mod the Warcraft 3 map?
maybe.
Okay. All right. Now I understand.
Yeah.
A Nintendo Direct came out of nowhere last week.
Came out of like
Japan.
Washington.
Well, yes,
Didn't it?
came out of Nintendo.
Okay.
I produced my own Nintendo Direct.
You did a pretty good job. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in here.
Thanks. Yeah. We held some stuff back.
I guess
Ice Climber 2.
Please be excited.
Sweet. Okay. Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Coming to Switch.
Port or no port?
Is Smash good, Ben?
Yeah.
To a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, so I
As a fighting adjacent game, it's okay.
Is it the Wii U game?
I don't
With
think so.
Splatoon characters.
I don't
It's
think
tough.
so.
You think it's a new game?
Yeah, it's tough to say for sure, but
There's been a mountain of evidence on either side. I expressed some, I didn't like how they handled the announcement of this game because
Specifically because it's ambiguous.
it left a lot
it's
of
ambiguous
questions.
and there's been rumors that there's going to be a Switch port for years. Like the last game was a port, kind of like it came out on 3DS and then they ported it to Wii U.
But that was a new game, right? Those two.
Yeah.
Yes, those two were.
3DS game was
The
new.
3DS was a new game, and
Okay.
then the Wii U was
Right.
just like
that was
an enhanced
essentially
version of it.
Okay.
port.
'Cause doesn't it take them forever to make these games? Because it's only been 3.5 years since that.
I think the time between Brawl and that was 7
Yeah,
years.
yeah. And like, what's Sakurai, right? Is the
Yeah.
guy. Like he
But that's
was
not
he was out there saying like, hey, these games are like, didn't he get divorced?
Well, so
he was like these games are killing me.
This is the last one I'm going to work on.
yeah,
I trust me.
He said that. I think that he said that 3 times.
but he is working on this
But
game.
he said so. One of the clues that make people think it's a new game is he was did an interview and he said, "Yes, I am back to do this." Which is like language that would imply because they officially announced the end of development of Smash for Wii U back in 2 years ago, and they said we're not balancing the game anymore, we're not adding any more characters, we're done with this video game. Enjoy. That doesn't mean that this can't be a port of that,
Right.
but it's so ambiguous, and people are like, "Oh, there's ambiguous video game announcements all the time." Like if a press conference ended with like, "Oh, here's one more thing," and it's a shot of Master Chief looking at a Halo, you'd be like, "Oh shit, there's another Halo game coming," but you're not like,
could be
or is it a
another
remaster of 3 Halo?
Some of that's, that's Nintendo not reading the room
Yes.
appropriately, but at the same time, it's not their fault that there were rumors
No.
about a port. So I can't necessarily.
I would have loved a little bit more clear. Like if they had just said like Smash coming to Switch, a new Smash.
It takes like one word to be like a new Smash Brothers and be done with it.
Because now you're going to get people on the side of like, oh, it's definitely a port. I can't get excited about this. You're going to get people who are excited for a new Smash game and then going to be disappointed if it's a port. Like, it's just a kind of a lose-lose.
Well, it's even in the video, because that was like their ending thing. And in that trailer, in that little bit they put out, you can see it both ways. Because by focusing on new characters, by focusing on the Splatoon characters, it's easy to look at that and go like, oh, the Splatoon characters are coming to this existing Smash Brothers game.
That's how I read it.
Because if they were going to announce a new Smash Brothers game, they would focus on the Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
The canonical Mario Smash and
he
Luigi
throws his
Smash.
hat or something, and you're like,
Like,
oh,
yeah, right.
shit.
Like,
if the Wii U was still the thing, that video easily could have been a DLC announcement for those characters.
Exactly.
Is how that felt.
But by ending it by just having the title card read Super Smash Brothers
and having
not
stuff like Link is wearing his Breath of the Wild costume, and
Yeah.
there's like little
But that-
details
but that-
people have
you know,
mind.
but
like,
that's stuff
true,
that
but
like
that could
if-
be-
in a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe-esque world, a Super Smash Brothers Deluxe like would have that stuff.
They would have some
100%.
costumes and stuff. Yeah.
And a balance pass, because once you're adding new characters, you kind of have to open the book on everything again, right? So then at that point, you're like, well, we put some new moves in, but maybe we didn't change the way character movement is, or some of that kind of basic stuff you associate with this last Smash Brothers as opposed to Melee or as opposed to the stuff before that.
Yeah.
My money's on port.
I'm leaning slightly towards new game.
Yeah, I think
but
I
I
am
think
at this
it's like
point too.
60-40.
Yeah, I think I'm there too.
All right.
They say it's coming out this year, so it won't be that long.
They, like we've
Before
said,
we find out.
they need a game to launch their paid online service with.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
So
that
this is like
coincides.
what, September-ish or
Yeah.
something? Because didn't they say September for the online
yes,
stuff?
I think that's right.
This has to roll out alongside that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What do you guys want though? Like, do you want a port or do you want a brand new game?
I mean, I personally would like a brand new game just because I'd like to see how they
Change it up.
iterate on the existing. I am a person who likes my favorite Smash game is Super Smash Bros. Melee, but I am not sitting here being like they need to make another one of those. That game already exists. I'm very happy with it. I would just like to see, I feel like Smash 4 ended up in a pretty good place. Like the few times I watched it, it was entertaining. Like people seemed really passionate about it, and the top players love the game. But it'd be cool to see like what kind of tweaks would they add to another game. Like I feel like every iteration they can get closer to that balance between being a fun game for people to pick up and play and being a game with some depth for the people who want to explore it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. The reason I ask is because some people just they dig in their heels with certain titles in that series. So
I think me as someone who is not attached to like Smash Brothers really since the first one, I would rather see a new game because like maybe if they have another pass at all of their movement and all that other stuff, maybe they'll find the right balance that kind of brings me in a little deeper or something like that. But
I'm of the same mind with that.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
The big thing for me is just that they seem to be leaning so hard in general on porting Wii U games to the Switch.
Yeah.
Like Bayonetta 2.
Right.
No one had Wii U.
Mario Kart, exactly. Like Mario Kart 8.
But a lot of people had a 3DS, so like
that's true.
Bringing that game to a third platform is at this point very much diminishing.
Like they announced Captain Toad for Switch, but it is the Wii U game with some new levels. It's not a new game.
Yeah.
That game.
He's in New Donk City.
Like even Splatoon 2, even though it was a sequel, had a bunch of content from the original game. Like they are bringing a bunch of stuff from the Wii U over.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And I mean, Smash Brothers is pretty set in like there are some things about that game that are pretty set. So yes, it will be a sequel, but there will definitely be some stuff that you recognize from past games.
Like Mario and Yoshi.
Mario will be in it. What will he look like? What will he look like? Mario.
He'll have Cappy. I mean, if it's a new game, he'll have Cappy.
Yeah, if it's a new game, he'll have Cappy. Or just can he fucking hang his hat on an opposing player and then walk them off a cliff?
Oh yeah.
That's the real question.
Yeah. I hope so.
I think like half this direct was ports. They announced the Dark Souls amiibo for the Dark Souls that's coming to Switch.
Can we just stop on that for a second? Because that's awesome. I want that amiibo so bad.
It makes you do the thing.
You get to do that thing. What he said.
He's doing the thing.
He's praising this.
If you can't see it, he's doing the thing.
I want this.
It's raining outside, Ben.
That's like a sun. It's a light. The cameras
fair enough.
can't see it.
Like I said, Captain Toad coming to Switch.
Yeah.
South Park Fractured But Whole is coming to Switch.
That
Good pronunciation.
That was fun to listen to them enunciate.
Yeah, totally. Okami HD, that Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Hyrule Warriors, which I would have thought was already on
thought
Switch.
it was a Switch game.
Undertale got announced for Switch. Is that it for ports? The original Luigi's Mansion is coming to 3DS.
Was that 3DS or was that
Yes,
Switch?
no, that's 3DS.
Yeah, 3DS.
Oh.
Like the GameCube launch game coming to 3DS.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool Switch game if they had gussied it up.
Yeah. But whatever, the most exciting port announcement of all was WarioWare.
I don't think that counts as a port.
Well, it's bringing together all of the games from or 300
more,
mini game
it's more
micro
like
games.
It's more like a
micro
greatest,
games.
It's like a greatest hits.
Yeah.
Microist
Sam
hits
brand,
of WarioWare.
It had they showed some of the tilt stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
That's out pretty soon.
And I'm
Or
sorry,
August.
Is that coming to Switch or a 3DS?
Just 3DS.
3DS. Okay.
Bowser's Inside Story, the best of the Mario and Luigi games, is also coming to 3DS.
Okay.
So yeah, like 3DS getting stuff. Weirdly,
Yeah.
Portish kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But stuff.
some stuff that I would rather see on the
Like
Switch.
they'll probably put out games like at least one of these games was announced for 2019, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Or no? Like
That's not
they'll
ringing a
probably be.
bell.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mario and Luigi or the Bowser's Inside Story.
They're
is
gonna
2019.
ship a video game on the 3DS in 2019.
Yeah, that's like 8 years.
Crazy.
or
What was
something
the Kirby one?
after it came out? Kirby for Switch.
I think so.
That's out
That's
tomorrow.
out. Yeah,
That's
that's
tomorrow.
today.
Is that Star Alliance or what?
Star
Yeah.
Allies. Isn't that right?
Sure.
Dan
Sure.
is playing that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think that's out Friday, isn't it?
Oh, maybe it's Friday.
They ship on
I
Fridays.
think it's
usually.
that's right. Let's see. Showed a bunch of Mario Tennis Aces.
That looks
Yeah.
good. That looks
That
really
looks,
good.
that looks
really
It
good.
looks solid.
They had a good solid 5-minute chunk of just explaining mechanics.
Yeah,
and stuff.
very
I'm like,
mechanical.
wow, okay.
This seems like
they're getting serious about
seems
this.
like a robust tennis.
You can
experience.
break people's rackets and just fuck them
It
up.
was 2 minutes in. They should have been like, no, check this shit out. And then 3 more minutes of fucking here's how you break a racket. Here's how you fucking stop your racket from getting broken. Here's how you tech hit this fucking super.
Yeah. That was my shit.
They
That looks great.
showed some more of that new No More Heroes, which is looks like a top-down, almost dual joysticky kind of thing. Which
Well,
is
it's
not
like
what I was
6
expecting.
different games.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a couple of them looked like that.
We will see.
We will see. I'm
will
still
see.
optimistic. They showed they got me. I was kind of cautious about it, but then they showed a bunch of bosses that all looked wacky, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what I want. As
Oh,
long
yeah,
as these
yeah,
are good, I'll be okay.
Tone of the game seems on point. But the gameplay,
Yeah.
It's not really.
The
it's not
gameplay was
No More
the
Heroes
worst part
3.
of No More Heroes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
It wasn't terrible, but it was. Remember that
sure.
first game? Remember driving around in that open world in the first game where there was nothing to do on your motorcycle?
Yeah. It looked good.
It did look
It was
good.
fun to
It
drive
had a lot
around.
of heart.
Yeah.
it did. What was that sushi game?
Yeah, Sushi Striker.
Oh yeah.
Way of the Sushido.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Looks kind of neat.
The Square game.
Yeah, they gave a date for Octopath Traveler coming out in July. Finally, feels like that thing's been in development.
And
forever.
that little
Yeah, totally.
that pre-order special edition
Yeah, the
little
pre-order has a
diorama
little
box.
shoebox
Yeah.
diorama
That's
that
cute.
looks
Yeah,
like
it's
the
cool.
game. I really want to play that. That looks awesome.
This is the first time they announced that it's going to be a mixed job system. Does that sound right?
They showed that.
They may.
like-
I'm not
like-
sure, but it's
That was news to me.
it's the Bravely Default people, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what they do. So that's not.
Oh,
super-
sure, yeah.
And then there's this weird single player Splatoon 2 DLC coming out called Octo
yeah.
Expansion.
And they're doing arms, and they're doing an arms tournament and a Splatoon
Test or
Mm.
online.
They're doing another
Thing.
test punch for
test
arms.
punch.
The free demo for ARMS. Like,
Yes.
hey, come on. More of you own a Switch now.
We're gonna
Maybe if we
we're gonna test your interest in arms here. Yeah, that Splatoon 2 thing looked weird.
looks good.
It looks
like
nice.
stylistically.
Yeah.
I
Reminds
think
me
it
of
looks
the
really good.
Matrix.
Yeah. So it's automatically good.
It's kind of dark and edgy looking. Sort
Like
of.
the Matrix. Yeah.
You're playing a character named Agent 8.
Like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh, who has to make her way through 80 test facilities connected by a subway.
Yeah, it seemed like that subway would be a hub world. But, the
mean, that
original
just-
single player had a hub world also.
Oh,
so
sure,
it's
sure.
not-
But that almost sounds like Portal-esque when you call them test facilities or whatever. But
I guess. I don't know. It's. And then
I
if you
just
beat
don't-
it, you get to play as the Octoling characters in multiplayer.
okay, yeah, and you get
So-
some.
You find out Krusty Sean was behind the whole thing.
Oh, fuck.
I guess that's what it is that Splatoon is mainly a multiplayer game. So for this to mostly be single player just seems like a weird fit. But
also, paid multiplayer stuff would suck for
yeah,
different
that's true.
reasons.
That's
so.
true. Sure.
I'm into it. I
Yeah.
played through all that Splatoon single player stuff and only a few games of the multiplayer, so I would pick that up.
Yeah, they look cool.
Mhm.
Just a little out of left field.
This is season pass stuff, right?
No, that thing is $20. I
Okay.
don't know if they ever sold a season pass for Splatoon.
Yeah. I don't think they did.
That DLC
Okay.
is just straight 20. That's pretty much it. I guess that's kind of clearing all this news out before we get to E3
Yeah.
and see Metroid or whatever it is they're going to do.
Right. Yeah.
Hope we get a cool new IP from Nintendo sometime soon. I feel like with like how that with Splatoon and ARMS and Mario Kart and stuff, they have these teams that are really good at making weird,
Yeah.
cool, interesting shit. So I'd like to see them just have a completely fresh take on a new
Yes.
IP.
I wonder if the ARMS team is still working on ARMS related stuff
Yeah.
because they keep talking about it and doing this stuff, or if they're on something else.
They're on something.
yeah.
They are on
Yeah.
something.
And I'd hopefully it's not like ARMS 2. We're gonna
They
drill.
all
We're gonna
have 4 arms.
Two
now.
arms this
Okay.
time.
finally.
Wait, they had 2 arms.
Yeah.
I don't know where they go from there. Just
Legs.
4 arms.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't fit with the motif.
You have to bolt. It's a labo.
It's
You
a
have
game
to
called
bolt cardboard to your ankles and.
Just call us, you go throwing bows.
Hmm.
You just have your characters like this.
If springs that come out of their elbows, yeah.
No springs. They just run at each other.
Yeah. This guy, we replaced all the arms with just guns. We decided virtual on had it right in the first place.
And we put 100 characters in it. We decided that was optimal.
All right. Spring Man is now named Gun Man.
Spring Girl is now named Gun Girl. This is
Okay,
easy.
yeah, man. And we're still calling it ARMS.
That works.
Here's a video game that's coming out on October 26th. Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
What?
Yeah.
They're making a fourth Black Ops.
I missed that.
Yeah.
And it's got a really dumb logo. I don't know, man.
Yes.
The logo is 4 Roman numeral 1s.
That's all right. So yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
I hope they make a 5th one and it's just 5.
Uh-huh.
They
A
just keep
5th one
going.
would be like the like
Oh,
the
there you
cross.
go. Oh, that's where they're going. Okay, sure.
So they've confirmed Black Ops 5.
Sure.
That's kind of it. It's Treyarch, of course. It's Black Ops 4. That's basically all they said.
you
May,
feel like
May 17th is when they will actually talk about
They
it.
show any gameplay?
No, literally, that was it.
Did the end of Black Ops 3 leave you wanting more Black Ops?
No, the end of Black Ops 2 left me wanting more Black Ops that Black Ops 3 did not capitalize on. Black Ops 3 is a very different story and world and stuff. Like Black Ops 2 is a futuristic shooter that ties into all the fucking Cold War and Vietnam and all this other shit from Black Ops 1.
Like, aren't there geriatric characters from the first game hanging around?
It's fucking crazy. Like how well it works in terms of just like, hey, we made this futuristic shooter that still manages to feel like
Who's the guy?
Frank Woods.
Right. And who's the actor?
It's
not Gary Oldman.
James.
No. Gary Oldman played the
different
Russian.
character.
Yeah,
Right,
not Frank
right.
Woods.
Okay.
But he plays the Russian guy that turns out is only in your head.
Okay.
In Black Ops 2, 1.
Numbers,
Spoilers.
like number stations and shit. Like that series was cool at the beginning.
Yeah, it was like Black
like-
Ops 1 was like such a different feel and
Like
thing.
monochrome Unix terminal that you're trying to hack into and
Yeah,
stuff.
you could
like,
play Zork in Black Ops
yeah.
1.
Like they got some of the Cold War stuff right.
They went
Yeah,
places.
and Black Ops 2, I think, like had like at the core of it, there were really cool ideas, both from a gameplay perspective and from a story one. But some of those ideas didn't necessarily make it into the campaign. Like they were very much like on about like the future of war, like what's up with when we have it. What happened? It was. I feel like it was one of the first games, definitely not one of the first pieces of fiction that was like, when we have a robot army, what happens when hackers get control of our robot army?
Yeah, like what happens when drones can kill people? Like
and
what
then-
happens when like all conflicts are driven by mineral scarcity?
Yes, exactly.
Shit like that. Yeah.
Stuff that like
Which is kind of where we're getting.
kind of, but I feel like some of it, like if you were to make a Black Ops game, if you were to make that Black Ops game today, it would be way fucking crazier. Sure. Just because of where we're at now. And then Black Ops 3 was this like Christopher Maloney mindfuck thing that like really didn't fit with Black Ops 2 especially well. So it was weird that it was called Black Ops 3. Like you were left with the impression that they were making a different game, and then suddenly marketing came back and said, no, you this needs to be Black Ops 3.
Need 3 slashes.
Yeah. So my hope is that this game kind of rights that ship a little bit and gets back to the story of 1 and 2. I think like for as much as the campaign of a Call of Duty game, I guess, matters. But like Black Ops 2 had branching paths in the campaign. It was like innovative as a single player shooter. Because it was stuff that would happen in gameplay. It was like, did you kill this guy as he was escaping, or did he escape? That's going to change things.
Yep.
And some of that stuff was not successful. They had these like weird versus AI missions that just were kind of broken, that you kind of had to cheese your way through, at least at launch. But I think, there's probably some room either with some 80s type stuff, which they did a little bit of in Black Ops 2, I guess. But there's also maybe some room in some modern day stuff to kind of loop back around, like a modern day setting that is set between the events of Black Ops and Black Ops 2, at least in terms of its farthest flung stuff. I think there's a story to be told there that could be cool. And I hope they get back to that. I hope it's not just another one-off thing. I would like to see more of Mason and the numbers and whatnot in some form.
Yeah, like games always,
or at least that
interested
vibe.
me like from a narrative, like storytelling, like single player stuff. That seems super interesting.
And you look at like World War II, being a game that kind of like resets them on the movement shit and gets them back to just like, all right, I don't know, equip some perks and shoot some guys.
Also the historical stuff.
Yeah.
Like they went back in time again.
There's room for a really good Black Ops 4 right here, I think, that could be kind of exciting. We'll see. I don't know.
shall see.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, they moved the release date up into October for the first time in like ever.
Yeah, normally they're
Call of Duty is like the release of the fall every year, like first week in November. But
got Red Dead coming out.
yes.
got Battlefield coming out.
Oh, you know what? I'm
So,
sorry.
They've had a late October release before, I want to say. But
You might be right. I said that. I'm sorry. Red Dead is coming out October 26th.
Oh.
I said the Call of Duty was coming out 26th. I don't.
Call of
see-
Duty's the
lie.
7th. No,
I don't see a date. For,
they did announce a date.
October 12th.
Yeah,
I'm
there it
sorry.
is.
Oh wow, that's like a freaking month earlier than
Yeah.
usual.
Understandable. There's a lot
significant.
of slashes to count, so
That is significant.
I would have messed that up too.
Speaking of games getting announced, Ubisoft is making another The Division.
Good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's they should do that. The
They are
Division.
doing that.
Yeah.
You're in luck.
What do you want them to do? Like build off the original one, or
Give 'em
just
forearms this
scrap
time.
it?
There's story stuff, or at least like the setting of the agents that have gone rogue and that sort of stuff. Like there's a like kind of post story,
Okay.
a little bit of info dump there from the bad guy that you get like from an audio log that I think is worth building off of.
Okay.
I have plans to do this
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Do you just stick with a quarantined New York again, or do you
Right.
have to do
Just
something
go to a
different?
different
Do you
city
have
and
to-
I think
quarantine.
you gotta figure.
Multiple cities.
Yeah,
It'd be cool to
So
have
much
like quarantine Paris, which is different than like quarantine, Ibiza or some
San Francisco when it's raining.
Yeah. Oh god, that's the final level.
no
Hell on
illness,
earth.
just
Rain.
regular San Francisco in the rain.
Like, do you need that kind of disastrous outbreak kind of scenario to like justify roving street gangs and no pedestrians and stuff like that? Like,
No, you just watch the Warriors, man.
I think that builds a world in which there are no civilians on the street.
Yeah.
Or very few,
Right.
and that makes that game work. If
Just
you were
set
to
it at
suddenly,
Christmas. Everybody's staying inside
they
at
did.
Christmas.
That's
I know.
yeah.
I know.
That's what that
in a lot of games
yeah.
they've done that. So many games. Anyway,
So yeah, I don't know where you set that game, or if there's just hey, here's more New York. We've got upstate New York now. How about that? Newark.
No thanks.
Yeah. No Newark. All right. Well,
but you
I
think
don't know.
there's
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
New York.
there's a good enough platform gameplay wise to kind of keep that.
definitely.
Okay.
yeah, a lot
yeah.
of room for improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they stayed the course on that long enough to kind of make right. I feel like the people that stuck with that game felt pretty good about it by the end. Like they had missteps along the way. Like they delayed updates and stuff to say like, hey, we know we promised our DLC to be hitting here, but the core of this game needs fixing first. Like they did right by it. In a way that seems like very Ubisoft to do these days. Like it's kind of cool.
They're doing a good
Yeah,
job.
like with all the stuff they were doing for Honor and
Yeah.
Division 1.
Like, yeah, they're in year 3 for Rainbow Six Siege.
Right.
Yeah.
They're supporting stuff.
They're still coming out with new
Like
classes.
the Division 1 is getting 2 more updates before.
It sounds like this is stuff that will tie into the sequel in a way
so
too.
The updates sounds like the updates are just basically updating existing missions for legendary difficulty, but doing those missions will unlock stuff for you in the Division 2.
Yeah. I think the gameplay in that was good. It was a lot of fun. And the progression in it sometimes was awkward. Especially, it was a game that they changed a lot over the lifespan of it. So, as someone who was not playing it every week, like there was a time that I spent away from it and then went back to it and didn't understand how any of it had worked because they had changed the way they counted up like your gear score or loadouts. Now you get a different type of currency for these keys, for this, for that, and at some point,
That's stuff that worries me.
yeah, that stuff. I feel like a lot of games we used to only say it was free-to-play games. That I tried playing some Warframe over the weekend and had the exact same experience with Warframe I always have, where I load up Warframe and go, fucking, I don't know what anything on this ship does anymore. I can launch into a mission, but I don't know which ones are right, even though they added like a quest indicator.
Oh, cool.
Like, so at least there's that. But then I get there and I get my fucking ass handed to me.
Oh, boy.
So I go back to earlier missions to try to get used to like, okay, how do I play this again? Like the movement is a little awkward here. What do I need to do? And try to warm up to it again. But by the time I've done that, it's like, okay, I'm gonna play something else. Like my Warframe time has run out and I'm gonna go do something else. So yeah, I don't know what the answer is for games to be better about that in terms of just like exposing the updates to lapsed players and stuff like it. Because the Division at least would pop like patch notes almost upon launch, but it was never like a tutorial per se about like here's what this mode is. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
super important to
maybe games
onboard like lapsed players or whatever.
or like how do you re-onboard? Like here's a kind of tutorial for people who have played 50 hours of this game, but played it 9 months ago.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't want to have personally. If I make games, it sounds like a challenge.
Probably not a surprise, but Ubisoft said explicitly that Division 2 will be at E3.
Okay.
So cool.
I guess we're going.
We'll go to E3 then.
All right, it's decided.
I am happy that they announced the Division 2.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see.
Yeah, I wanted to like that first game more than I did. It definitely had a lot of promise.
Weird. I could go for a Wildlands too. Not immediately.
I also wanted to like that one,
but where they got to with Wildlands, they stuck by that game and did a lot of fucking weird shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Over time, and
that was the problem. It wasn't weird enough.
Well, yeah, but there was a core of it that I think.
Yeah, sure.
With the learnings they've gotten from just watching players play that game, and some of if they had more time to kind of take a crack at the story and do better.
Yeah.
I think a follow-up to Wildlands could be something really cool.
Sure.
It's a good playground.
Yeah.
A couple more stories here. Valve had an event to show off Artifact to some media outlets who were not us.
That's true. Still, this looks really interesting.
Yeah, some people went to see Artifact, the Dota card game. But the news that came out of this was not about Artifact, really. It was about stuff that Gabe Newell said. Let me find the quote. Here it is.
It's in your email.
Somewhere in the presentation, he said, "Artifact is the first of several games that are going to be coming from us. So that's sort of good news. Hooray! Valve's going to start shipping games again.
They're back.
Hooray!
Yeah.
I'm so excited that they're going to be shipping more games like Artifact, a game that you have to buy into and then buy your cards on the Steam Marketplace because it's going to be a magic. You don't have to.
That?
Well, so it does cost money.
Oh, it
Artifact
does.
is not a free-to-play game.
I assumed it would be free to play.
And you got to buy cards.
What?
And you can sell those cards on the Steam
I don't know about this.
Marketplace and
like
buy
they
it.
have fucking found the way to fucking do the card game stuff the way physical card. Oh shit!
Yep.
I hadn't
Yikes.
even considered the marketplace
Yikes.
ramifications.
Because that's
on
exactly
that.
how that would work, right? You would
Yep.
have to buy the starter box, and then you would buy card packs. Yeah, man, that's scary. Well, then it should not be surprising.
It looks
dude.
it looks like a competent card game. It looks like something I would like to try,
Yeah.
but the economics behind it.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough. I wanted to try it for the Dota tie-in, but yeah, I guess that makes more sense than that they announced that Richard Garfield is the designer behind this.
Oh, really?
Who
I
I had never heard of, but like people who like card games
wow.
lost their fucking minds when they heard that.
That's
so.
a big name. man.
Hates Mondays, loves lasagna. It's Richard Garfield.
He's maybe the only card game guy I know the name of.
Yeah, like he created Magic.
What about Hoyle and his playing cards?
Yeah, right.
Not familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, he created. I guess he definitely created Magic the Gathering, and I think also Netrunner. So
The original like '90s Netrunner.
Okay.
Before it was Android.
yeah, definitely a dude who has made some card games.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, like the real story out of this was Gabe kind of rambling about all the stuff Valve's been doing for the last few years, such as VR headsets and other weird hardware experiments.
Ayahuasca for days. It's been fucking crazy in here, man.
I made a VR knife.
Find me.
We took a
works
room
in VR.
We took a room and turned it into a beach. Not in VR. I mean like a fucking beach.
That sounds all right. That sounds okay.
I buried games all over the place. These are the games that we are now shipping.
Let's see.
Just holds up a sign that says, "Here's our Left 4 Dead sequel," and it's just a thing that says, "No anime is safe from Miami Mike."
He basically talks about like the fact that they made Vive let them build up a hardware department more or less. He says 5 years ago we didn't have electrical engineers and people who know how to do robots. Now there's pretty much
You guys do robots?
Donatello does
I mean,
robots.
you know how to do robots.
I have filmed enough people doing
Jan does
robots.
robots.
I can make a robot. Let's make a robot.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I got some cardboard
Great.
by the
Yeah.
office.
You're a robot guy.
We're gonna buy a labo and then
I'm going to
See
build
where it
my
goes from there.
own robot on the side.
okay.
He says, now there's pretty much no project in the hardware space that we wouldn't be comfortable taking on. We can design chips if we need to.
We can make robots.
We can do industrial design and so on.
We made a robot that's also a knife.
The thing to me is like, I don't know how any of this informs the games that you're making. Like you're not, unless they're going to start shipping robots along with games. I don't know.
No, but Brad, they can do anything.
I guess so. Let's see. Gosh, this is a dense story. This PC Gamer story mentions that like roughly a year ago, Gabe was out there saying that they were working on a new single player game.
Mm-hmm.
Although everything I've heard about Valve says that easily could have been canned by now.
Sure.
They're extremely not afraid to just flush stuff that they're not happy with. They're working on new VR games that they've talked about in the past but haven't announced, so they are making games, but I don't know much more than that. But they claim they will ship games again. I believe them.
That's cool. They should.
Yeah.
I think there are probably people there that know how to do that still.
Talented
They
people.
didn't all leave.
yeah.
The writers maybe, but they probably still have some writers.
Yeah. All the big names that I
Put
was
those
aware of
people
are
to
gone.
use.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the robots people can write.
Change.
Maybe so.
The robots can write.
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's-
Oh yeah.
What if the robots could write?
What if?
I don't know. I guess it's worth reading this last quote where he says, "We've always been a little bit jealous of companies like Nintendo. When Miyamoto is sitting down and thinking about the next version of Zelda or Mario, he's thinking about what is the controller going to look like, what sort of graphics and other capabilities. He can introduce new capabilities like motion and input because he controls both of those things. And he can make the hardware look as good as possible because he's designing the software at the same time that's really going to take advantage of it. So that's something we've been jealous of, and that's something that you'll see us taking advantage of subsequently."
When you control the
So-
robots.
I don't know. Maybe they are going to ship weird controllers with games and stuff now.
Oh, God, no.
Like the
No.
reason that Nintendo, I feel like, gets away with it is because they also have a legacy as like a license, as a licensor, so that as a platform holder, all that other stuff. So that's, that's like, hey, we'll make this for our weird game, but we know that like off in the distance, there's someone doing deals to make sure that all this third party stuff is still coming to the platform. I guess they've relied on that less and less as time goes on, though.
I don't know. He could largely be talking about the Vive. There is a new, better Vive coming out.
Or yeah,
soonish.
maybe it's
he's-
it's like, hey, here's the Vive, and here's like maybe it's like more VR gadgets. Like here's a gun controller, here's
A knife controller.
a bowling ball.
or even
that you
they
hold.
are making new versions of those controllers generally.
Sure.
That do more stuff.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It was a weird reminder seeing this story that Dota 2 is literally the last game that Valve released.
Yeah.
Quote unquote released. Like that was the last game they put out.
And that was what, 2012?
I think it was a 12 or 13 when it came out of beta. I know it was definitely
It
earlier.
was-
It was
yeah.
like 11 or 12 when the beta started. It's been a long time
And
since
then
they put out a game. Well, I guess the lab. I mean, if you really want to
Oh, sure.
get technical about it, but speaking of Dota,
Were we?
Ben, did you
yeah.
subscribe to Dota?
That's right.
I am now a Dota Plus premium user.
You're a Dota subscriber?
I am now
$4 a
paying
month.
$4 to play a game that I actively dislike.
Yeah, and can play for free.
No, yeah. So they rolled out Dota Plus,
Yeah.
kind of out
So
completely.
it
out of
is
nowhere.
totally out, and you can jump in.
It
you
is
can get
fully
You
out.
can get everything now.
They patched it like 4 or 5 times yesterday.
Okay.
Just for
Yeah, I saw it
but-
taking a bunch of updates.
So
yesterday.
baseline this for me. I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so if you back up a couple years, Dota put out something called the Compendium.
Yep.
And this was kind of in their lead up to the International, the big tournament that happens every year.
Sure.
You could buy it for, I don't know, $12 or
I think
something.
it was like 10 for the base, but then
You could buy like it with some levels.
you were crazy if you didn't get the $30 one
Right, and basically
for all
what
the stuff you got with it.
Crazy.
what it got you was like a kind of a metagame where you would have a level and you could increase that level by playing the game,
Yep.
doing little quests like, D-ward 50 wards as a support or, get 50 first bloods and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I kind of remember that stuff.
And so it gives you
Right.
points, and those points gets you chests, which get you better hats, or like voice lines in your chat wheel, skin, like map skins, all sorts of cosmetic stuff.
What does this Plus membership get you?
So they ramped up the compendium stuff a little bit, so that they were doing a compendium for every major, and then they just stopped doing the compendium stuff altogether about a year ago. They didn't have one. No, they had one for last TI, and
that
then
was
they
the
didn't have
last one,
anything
right?
since. And then they rolled out Dota Plus. And so this is $4.99, but you can buy it's $4.99 or it's $3.99 a month.
Yeah.
But you can buy like a year for 15% off or 6 months for 8% off or something like that. And it gets you two things. It gets you something similar to that compendium stuff. You have like a persistent level, but they really ramped it up. So you have like tons of hero specific quests. Like if I pick, I'm gonna get into Dota talk, so bear with me.
Not too deep.
But like if you pick Oracle, let's say, and it's like restore 1,000 mana to your friends with mana boots. And then if you do that, you get Dota, like I forget what they call them. They
Shards,
call
I think, is the new
shards.
The new currency.
Yeah. And you can use shards to buy costumes.
So that's one of my big questions is, have they done away with the loot boxes of the old compendiums?
Yes.
Because you used to have to open box after box trying to get the thing you wanted. Like,
Right.
So now you straight up just buy what you want.
So you just earn currency and then buy the.
There's
that's
like
a positive change.
There's
for
like
sure.
6 premium sets that are like these are your 6 nice sets, and then they are constantly rotating in old sets for cheaper that you can buy, which is cool. Like if you missed a chest and you wanted to buy a disruptor set that you really like. And then, so that's one half of it, and I think that stuff is really cool. Like, it seems a little more straightforward. There was a really good long breakdown by somebody on the Dota Reddit. Well, compared to the compendium, it's a little bit more straightforward.
Okay.
About
there's no more randomness in getting the item drops you want. You just buy the stuff you want.
And there was a breakdown by somebody who purported to work as like in the free-to-play sphere, who gave a very detailed breakdown. It's like basically there's 3 stages to any free-to-play game, and the last stage is retention, right? It's like you want to keep as many people playing your game as long as you can. You're done trying to get a bunch of new users. This is about retention, and this makes a little more sense, right? It's like, okay, I'm playing and I'm unlocking when I want to, and that's great. The half of it that has gotten people a little upset is...
Hang on, before we get to that,
Yeah.
Can I ask a couple questions about the stuff so far?
Please.
All right. It seemed like the compendiums were fucking bananas because, like you said, you were crazy if you didn't buy the $30 one, and then you could just buy levels on it as well.
Oh, yeah.
To just, instead of playing the game, unlock all the shit you get for the battle pass by just paying money.
If you spent like... Do you know roughly how much the Aegis cost?
Oh God,
it was several $100s.
Easily hundreds of dollars.
The last unlockable on the compendium was a little shield that they would
send you in the mail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently very nicely made.
Yeah.
I've never seen one in
I bet.
person.
But like, so that was something you could grind out, but like you're probably never going to get to that unless you're buying levels.
Probably maybe physically impossible in the time.
I got to where I wanted to by buying like 2 level bundles last battle pass, which was like $10.
And they would always offer 1 or 2 discounted bundles of levels every so often.
So is there an equivalent here? Can you buy shards?
No.
Is it so they've basically effectively said like, hey, we're going to stop letting people kind of it's no longer a pay what you want.
Yeah, that post very talked about like whales, right? It's like this isn't trying to get the whales. This isn't trying to get people who are going to spend $300 to get all this stuff up front. This doesn't mean that there won't be a battle pass, because in Valve's blog post they were very clear about, hey, we used to have 2 types of battle passes. This is replacing one of them.
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
But people are theorizing that maybe the battle pass rolls into this somehow, or like maybe you get it at a discount if you're a Dota Plus
XP
member.
doubler. Dota Plus members earn twice the shards.
Yeah. So right.
Sure.
Right now there is no way to spend more money.
Right.
But
Give it time. I had another question. What was it? I've totally forgotten. But there is a bunch of stuff that seemed like maybe is it controversial? It looked like it would be to me. But
there are some people who are up in arms kind of about it. So now like there is the Dota Plus Assistant, I think they call it.
That was the thing.
It's kind of an umbrella term for a few different things. So it might, if you have the assistant enabled, you can get suggestions on what heroes to pick based on your team comp and the enemy's team comp.
It's literally like a paid counter pick interface.
It can give you like so there'll be like 3 little predetermined item guides based on like what kind of role you want to play your hero as. Like, oh, are you playing support bounty hunter, right? And so it's like, okay, I'm gonna pick this one because it has like an urn and mana boots and stuff like that. And then as you play, it'll like give you like, you should buy this item next, or you should buy this item next because their team has a lot of physical damage, so you should get a buckler, which reduces physical damage. It'll also give you like a death recap that is a second-by-second chart that you can look at while you're dead of when you took damage, when you got stunned in a fight, like stuff like that. There's post-game, there's like really detailed post-game analysis. There's like spectator stuff that'll tell you like the odds of a certain team winning based on current net worth.
This sounds like a really good, like retention tool, or just. I'm extremely intimidated by this game, but knowing that there's tools like that makes me more interested in trying it out.
Most of that stuff sounds totally fine, but
is there a concern that like
But you're
Once
paying
they, I mean,
for
because
this.
so they've had
this is weird.
fan written
item guides,
and
but-
stuff that
yeah,
you've been able
yes.
to look at in game, right?
But you're right. Like those depend on fans updating them, and of course
Yeah.
everybody will say, "Oh, that guy's a moron. That guy is
Yeah.
useless."
But then this one
this is like algorithmically
live,
driven.
updated in mid game.
Yes, they tout that it's machine learning.
Yeah.
Right.
Is,
And-
it,
and
is this
and
the
it's-
Dota robot that showed off the international? Just
No.
Like, okay, separate from that
That's
stuff.
yeah.
So then,
It's the
does this take out?
yes.
Can any idiot who can play an RTS play Dota?
Oh no, I
now?
don't know that I would say that.
Or, or I
But-
mean, does it
but-
remove some of that strategic
yes,
know-how
absolutely.
down to a point where you just have to be good at last hitting?
That's the well, no,
and knowing
no.
when to pull
No,
back.
there's way more execution in playing the game than that. But
Okay.
at the meta strategy layer of like picking, like counter picking the people they have with people
Right.
who will nullify them, like that's the thing I thought would be controversial because
I
like
will say it's not like it seems a little flawed right now.
yeah,
I don't
it may
know if
not
it's
be-
going to improve,
it may
like
not
if
be
it's going to
perfect.
learn, but like it's definitely so. A lot of people at first were like, "Oh, this is pay to win," but now a lot of people are floating kind of the term "pay to learn,"
Yeah.
which is a little more accurate. I think
Sure.
it's a little like it's.
Sounds like it.
I think that stuff should be in there for new players. I think
Right.
that stuff should be just a default if you're new to the game, and because here's the thing, like that's not going to really affect. So you know everyone has like MMR, and that's basically where you are in the ladder, right? And so the average MMR is around 3,000. That's like the average player, and like 50% or 75% of all players are between like 2,000 and 4,000, right? Because like it's a curve,
Right,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
with any sort of online game. This isn't going to affect anyone above like. This isn't going to affect the top 25% of players. This isn't going to like make somebody suddenly become a pro. This isn't going to make somebody suddenly become like, oh, I beat Sumail mid because I got like a guide on how to itemize.
It told me what thing to click on in
which
the
boots
store.
to buy.
Though I'll say though, if I was paying them money for a fucking robot that told me how to play the game and I followed it exactly and still lost, I'd be like, fuck this thing.
yeah, totally.
the problem with Dota is there's still a million other ways you can lose.
No, totally.
But like just on paper, this is now giving you an advantage that you're paying for that used to be exclusive to people who had an immense amount of knowledge about like what is frankly one of the most complicated games on the planet.
Or
Like,
you
it
had
was
like a second monitor open with a Dota buff page.
It was like
and
it was a huge buy-in to know how
Right.
to do this stuff previously that you're now just sort of paying $4 a month to have it tell you.
So yeah,
So-
the community's kind of split on it. There's a lot of people who are upset about it, but I think it's a little bit of overreaction. But I think it's inching closer to territory I am not comfortable with.
Yeah, I could see that. And I say all this as somebody who's terrible at this stuff. Like I have zero ability to like effectively counterpick a lineup or whatever. But I could see why people who are good at that stuff would not be happy that.
Well,
you can,
in some ways, it seems like you're the ideal person.
Yeah, like
to
that would-
where,
that would
you
help
know,
me.
You don't necessarily play a fuckload of Dota anymore.
Yeah.
But you have some knowledge. So, but if you could jump back in and say like, oh, the robot knows the meta.
Yeah.
yeah,
and
totally.
you just have to handle the execution.
Yeah.
Like, not to say you're going to execute perfectly every time, but it's one less thing you have to worry about.
Sure.
True.
That seems weird.
kind of.
Did they say that if they would allow it in tournament play or not?
I don't know if they've said that. I don't imagine any pros would use it because you have to like.
Yeah, it seems like at a high level you would deliberately be not doing what the guide says
Yeah.
to throw people off.
But like stuff like the death recap, I could see being useful. Like, oh, he got this stun off before I got my stun off, so I need to prioritize getting my stun off because he's focusing on disabling me. Like that might give just the slightest advantage. And
Yeah.
when you know two equally teams meet in Dota, a slight advantage can be all you need.
Yeah, that stuff just sounds like good data.
Yeah.
To have for sure.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but
Sounds awesome.
it generally sounds like an improvement over the old system.
Also, they brought back Battle Pass or Battle Cup, which
Battle
was
Cup?
their
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
every
weekly
week on
tournament.
Saturdays or whatever. You queue up with 5 friends and they put you into little randomized 8-man brackets, and you know, if you win, you get a little trophy on your username or whatever. But you can buy tickets for those for $1 each, which comes out to $3.99. You know, so it's like you're basically getting Battle Cup. If you just wanted to play Battle Cup again, you basically can sign up for this and get 4 free Battle Cups plus all this extra stuff plus cosmetics.
It seems like a good deal for what you're getting. Like,
Yeah.
they're giving you a lot of stuff. Cosmetics, they're getting like map skins. Seasonally,
Yeah, it comes with
stuff
like a
that.
spring map skin that looks really nice.
Yeah.
There's hero specific. When you complete challenges with specific heroes, you unlock voice chat wheel sounds for them. A little unfortunate because the first hero I picked to play was Oracle, and his voice chat command I first unlocked was, "You will die in a house fire."
Great.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that's
algorithm is really
Dota
good.
Dota Plus
Dota Plus
knows you better than you know
Yeah.
you.
me better than I would ever want to know me. But yeah, so I think it's okay. I think Valve is going to tweak some things for it, like that people have pointed out some things that they have very good complaints about. And I don't think it's a perfect system yet, but I understand Valve wanting to monetize Dota a little more, especially if they're not getting that new user growth. I think this is actually somehow a great way to get people in if they're willing to pay money for a game that they don't know if they like yet. If you're that kind of crazy, this is for you.
I wonder if they end up doing like trials or something. Like, hey, if we know you've never played Dota before, we're going to give you a
like
month
2
of Dota
weeks
Plus,
or a month or whatever. But yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's way better on the cosmetic front. I think the other stuff is inching a little bit in a direction I don't like, but I think it's far enough away that.
Is there anything similar in League?
No, because their business model is so like hero based.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And cosmetics, obviously.
Yeah.
Getting a phone call. Time to take a break. That was it for the news. We'll be right back with other stuff. See you.
It's time to shave your way.
What is my way?
I don't know what your way is.
I don't either.
Okay,
What are we going to do about this?
You get to experiment and find out with the Schick Hydro 5 Sense razor.
That sounds high tech. I'm going to take it in the shave lab.
All right, you're going to get in the shave lab and you're going to customize your shave with innovative shock absorb technology. That's right, the Schick Hydro 5 Sense auto adjusts to how you shave.
Shock absorb.
Yeah.
This is like if you're shaving in the middle of an earthquake.
You'd probably be fine. I don't know.
Gonna get a clean, even shave.
Yeah, backing off or adding pressure when needed, it'll maintain the optimum amount of contact with your skin. It's got 3 custom gel formula razor refills, which enable you to further personalize your shave, while 5 Ultra Glide blades maximize contact to help reduce redness and irritation.
Gel, huh?
Yeah, gel.
I like some gel.
Yeah, put a little gel on the razor, and then
Yeah.
you get the shave gel that you're putting on too. Like it's gel on gel on gel.
Get a slide to it.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly how it can go. It could be just as easy as a slide. You customize it. You make it your way. You customize your shave with the new Schick Hydro 5 Sense razors and refills, available now at Walmart for an everyday low price. For more shavings and savings, you can visit schick.com. That's SCHICK.com.
Shave a little bit off of that price.
That's right.
What's up with that water bottle?
It's still got some water in it.
Oh, wow.
He just
Okay.
unsheathed it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
took it out of its hole.
It was lewd.
I'll let you see that Zojirushi logo.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It was sleek
Yeah, well,
and shiny.
Ingenuity.
It's how it do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do video games do?
They do good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 Especially old ones?
Well, yeah.
There's not much out this week, but I figure you want to talk about that one.
The game is out this week.
Yeah.
The greatest game of last generation. Burnout Paradise.
It's pretty good.
I agree with
It's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Burnout Paradise is quite a good game.
Burnout Paradise Remastered is coming out this Friday.
Yeah. Or I guess you can play
you can play it
now
on
if
Xbox through the EA Access
Yeah.
thing if you're one of those type of people.
That forgets to unsubscribe.
I canceled mine. It finally wore out.
I
Finally,
did too, and I re-signed up, and then I forgot.
There's always a game that's just like, oh, they
Yeah.
totally didn't send this out, and now we need to sign up for this thing so
Yep.
we can do something. Yeah,
Play 10 hours of it.
yeah. So I'm sure that'll happen later this year.
Okay.
But yes, Burnout Paradise, Xbox One and PS4 versions are available this week. It's been really great to go back to Burnout Paradise, and look at it 10 years later, and really get a look at like.
Warts and all. Right?
Yeah, totally. Like they didn't change much about that game. It looks better, but not.
It does
I mean,
look pretty sharp.
Yeah,
Like you
it's
definitely
a-
tell it's an old game. Like
When-
it's pretty flat in spots.
Yeah.
But like the textures look nice.
When I fire that game up, though, like I fire it up on PC typically. What's the?
This looks like a slightly better version of that. You
Okay.
know, like it'll run in 4K on the Pro and the
Rad.
PS4 Pro, or the Xbox One X, all that stuff.
Looks good, runs good.
Looks good, runs good. Very good frame rate, very solid.
Drives
Drives
good.
well.
Good. No, I don't care about that.
The kind of weird thing that kind of gets in the way a little bit is that it comes with all the DLC. So right off the bat, you'll have access to screaming fast cars that you have no business driving at
those
that
are
point
like
in the
really good
progression.
cars.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Like you'll just blow through the early challenges with those, right?
Well, it'll balance the opposing cars to whatever car you pick.
Okay.
Does that kill your incentive to grind shit out?
A little bit.
Oh.
A little bit.
Well,
But the shit you grind out in that game is like it was always the world collectibles for me that did it. The billboards you smash through,
Yeah.
finding all the shortcuts.
Getting new cars was fun.
Super jumps. Like,
Exactly,
the new
yeah.
car stuff. For what it's worth, I'm not driving one of the DLC cars yet because I want the opposition to be slow too.
Sticking with the trusty old Hunter Vegas.
No, I've upgraded to the Akusa GT.
sticking with the same old soundtrack.
Yeah.
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 Is everything faithful? Everything carried?
You know, I would have to like look at a list of both to see if maybe they cut a track here and there, but it's what I remember
So
it
you
being.
got girlfriend.
Yeah.
big ones there. Okay.
Avril Lavigne is in there. The Guns N' Roses
Sold.
is right there waiting for you.
Like he never left.
Yeah. And it has like all the stuff that game had. Like I said, warts and all. Like there's stuff about that game that 10 years ago like felt huge, you know, just in terms of just like the way that we're bringing players together, the type of co-op multiplayer stuff they were doing.
Face cams.
Yeah, the face cam stuff, which is on the PS4 version. I can't say one way or the other about Xbox. I need to go back and play more of Xbox with a Kinect hooked up and see if it
who wants to
finds
do
it,
that?
but I don't know where my Kinect is, and I guess my Xbox doesn't have a Kinect port on
Yeah,
it
you'd
anymore.
have to buy like
and I don't have the
thing.
adapter, so
Oh,
that's
man.
that, I guess. I will never know.
Also, the Kinect is prone to dying, it turns out.
Okay.
Okay, I looked up why mine kept turning off after 5 minutes,
Uh-huh.
and apparently they overheat.
Okay.
The fans go out in there or something.
Wow.
Like
You
it's
just got to get an external fan, a water-cooled Kinect
Okay, there you go.
for all the
Nikon
motion
makes those.
it's sensing.
trick that thing out.
It's because you move too much in front of it.
Yeah, I
It
guess
gets
so.
hot. But yeah, so it's there are things about it that I think if you were to make Burnout Paradise today, there are different choices you would make about how the progression works, about fast travel, which does not exist, generally speaking.
You're in
Depends
a
on
car. How are you gonna fast travel in a car?
That was
step on
so.
it.
I mean,
You get
when
in
this
another
game.
car.
When this game first came out, when you failed a mission, when you failed a race, when you had to drive all the way back to the starting point for that race to do it again.
Yep.
And I want to say, I need to check and make sure it's in there, but they did at some point say like, all right, we'll do a restart last event. But like their vision was to have no loading screens and all this other stuff.
Just
And
flawless,
and just
seamless.
this, yeah. And so that went against the thing that they said they wanted. But you know, the thing they wanted was silly. So yeah, it would be nice to be able to travel around to different parts of the world without having to drive all the way out there sometimes, especially like, oh, I need collectibles in this area.
You go up in the hill. You gotta go all the way up. In those
exactly. I got to
hills.
drive out there and bang through some shit, but I got to drive out there to do it. So it would be nice if there was a little bit more of a fast travel system for whatever that's worth. But and there are little things about player matching and the stuff about there were free burn challenges in that game. There were just like one player needs to crash into another player, or you all need to do donuts at the baseball stadium, and shit like that. That were good from 2 to 8 players, but it was different challenges depending on if you had 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, 5 players. Like there are checklists for each number of players that were possible in the multiplayer. So if you want to complete all of those, which I did eventually on the 360, you would have to like find a game that had only 4 other players in it. Or you know, if you had the right number of friends and you could figure out a way to do it, you could do it. But like then, you know, you get to a point where like, all right, you need to leave because now we need to do the 3-player challenges.
Sorry,
and that
Joe.
guy's like, but I need the 3-player challenges. And you're like, fuck you, man.
Sorry, you should have been here in time.
I ended up helping a lot of people like do their challenges that I had already done just because that was what that game was.
Yep.
So like stuff like that, I think there's probably, if you were building it from the ground up today, I think there are probably some smarter ways you would go about making that stuff work.
But this being just a remaster, yeah, they haven't
Totally,
addressed any of
it's
that
very
stuff.
faithful, and I'm having a really great time with it. It's really, I like that game a lot.
It's fun to go back to.
Yeah, and
Still.
I've I've been doing the thing I mostly did when I played it originally, and that's not enter the races and just drive around and get all the jumps and billboards and just like it's just, it feels so good that like not making progress is still okay.
Yeah.
There's like a handful of games like that over the years that I started thinking about when I started playing this, like Echo the Dolphin. I never finished Echo the Dolphin. I'll probably never finish Echo the Dolphin. But like that first area in Echo the Dolphin, when you're practically doing like, you know, just flips in the air and all that, just like almost like it felt like a skateboarding game.
Yeah.
You know, like the same way like Tony Hawk just felt good, Echo felt good, and Burnout feels good. And yeah, so I've just been kind of focusing on that stuff and getting in some races here and there, just kind of like seeing, you know, where it takes me and just like doing some stuff as I see fit. And when it comes out, I will probably want to try to do all those challenges and stuff again. Like I already have most of the trophies on PS4, at least for the base set. They have all the DLC trophies as separate entries, as they normally do on Sony trophy lists. But yeah, I've already played a whole lot of that game. It's phenomenal. I wonder what people will think of it now if they didn't play it originally, like how it will read to new players.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it. I only played through, I'd say about half of it.
Yeah.
I and I was focusing mostly on races. I was burning through races, not really exploring the areas, but I liked Burnout Paradise at the time. Like it's a fun, I could tell it was a fun game, but I was just like, oh, it's racing and I don't really love racing yet. But now that I have more of an appreciation for it and just like how finally, even at the time I was noticing like this is like a tight package. Like this is, the world is very small and compact and full of things to do, even if you're just driving. Like,
every turn feels like it's there for a reason. Like there's a craft to the creation of that open world. And I feel like that they did a DLC called Big Surf Island that's in here. That is a whole separate landmass with bigger jumps and all this other stuff, and it's a lot smaller than the main area. And I feel like it loses, like it is really tightly packed, and there is a lot to do, but I feel like it doesn't feel right. Room. Yeah, it doesn't feel right the way the main area does.
You're saying it's the Fortnite to the main area is PUBG.
Maybe, yeah. But the other thing, like the stuff about this game that, like, I think if you were making it today, like looking back on it, the races are maybe the problem with the game to a certain extent, because the events all start at basically every traffic light in the game is a different event. So they'll be like, oh, this one is a starting point for a race. This one's a starting point for a road rage event, marked man, like the different, gameplay types you'll encounter. But the races, anything that has an ending, a set ending, ends at like one of only like 6 or 8 places. So they're just like, there's the wind farm, there's the baseball stadium. Every event that has an ending ends at one of those points. So if you're just grinding out races and grinding out those events, you drive the same bits of track, at least for the end of those events, a lot.
Sure.
Even though it is an open world and there's a lot of opportunity to see different stuff, like generally speaking, you're driving out to the wind farm. There's only like 2 ways to get there, and you, depending on where the race started, you're going to see one or the other. At some point, you're going to get to those roads. And that, I think, is a miscalculation on their part. Like, looking back on it now, all these years later, I think that's a thing that they should have had more diverse spots for ending races. Because that sticks out a lot more now than it did then. But at the same time, I still think this is probably like the best non-simulation racing game released in the last 10 years. I think it's better than all the Need for Speed games that have come out. It's better than The Crew. All that stuff that's come out. I would take this over the Forza Horizon games, but I think those have come the closest. But they're still kind of different. Like, those are simulation-esque in ways that, it's not quite
more
fun
about the
first.
car and less about the city.
They're also just a little too stuffy, and like
Horizon splits the difference between motorsport and Need for Speed or something,
but
right?
Even
it's
down to like attitude.
Yeah.
Like there's something like watching you play Burnout on Friday reminded me how much I just like how upbeat that game is. Like there's a positivity to that. Like,
it is the fucking blue sky game that like UK Resistance wanted back. It is like it is the fucking old style of happy video game.
Yes, like everything from like DJ Atomica's like dumb delivery
and all that
to
fucking
like the
pop punk.
Yeah, all the pop punk, like the graphic design of all the HUD elements, like just everything about it is just sort of like lively. Like there's a verve to that game.
Yeah.
that I kind of miss. Like I can't think of a lot of games that feel like that these days.
But the games that are like that are like throwbacks in a way too. It's like,
Yeah.
Sonic is kind of like that, and
Sure.
I was gonna say that '90s arcade racer, but I don't think that ever came out, did it?
I don't think so.
Sunset Overdrive.
Kind of had some of that.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, that game was
Yeah.
cheesy as hell. Like there was a lot of kind of dad humor in that
if you
game.
wanted,
but, like,
but at the same time, if you wanted to sum up Sunset Overdrive's attitude, I feel like you could sum it up as pop punk 5 years after that should have been a
well,
thing.
like I said,
Like
very dad
humor.
dad driven.
Totally.
But like Sunset Overdrive even had the Burnout thing of dynamic billboards that they could cycle new stuff in on around the city.
This doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
They took that out.
You don't get ads for Soylent.
Yeah, sadly, no. But yeah, it's a really fantastic game, and I hope Need for Speed seems like it's been. Need for Speed has not been the series it could be these last handful of iterations.
Yeah.
Like in this generation, I'd say like they have not made a great Need for Speed game
Definitely
since Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, Most Wanted come out after Hot Pursuit.
I think
it
so.
was Hot
Like,
Pursuit.
those
then Most
were
Wanted.
the two.
Yeah, those were
though.
the two Criterion.
Yeah, those were the two that you were like when they first started to tap back into Burnout stuff.
Yeah.
In Need for Speed, but even then, licensed cars they can only go so far, and it didn't quite get there. This game is there. This is the game that got there, that made all those Need for Speed games disappointing. You know, so you wonder, like there was it Craig Sullivan, who was like the guy that was like the face of Ghost Games that were making the Need for Speed games more recently, and he was ex-Criterion. A lot, like he's no longer there. Like you have to wonder, is there like a changing of the guard at Ghost Games? Like what does EA do with driving games now?
Yeah.
Because that last Need for Speed game was pretty fucking dire.
Yeah. And that was coming off of the previous one where we were like, okay, they didn't quite get this one right. They really need to bring it next time.
Yeah, like the one before that, they were like, oh, there are elements of this that I think could be made into a better game.
Yeah. But they've got a lot of work to do.
And the one before that was like somehow even worse. Like, man.
That was a launch game, to be fair.
Yes,
but it's been a string of not great Need for Speed games.
So like have they done enough damage to the Need for Speed brand, which is, I feel like in my view, what it would take to finally do it? Will this game do well enough to finally show on some chart somewhere that like, hey, maybe we should actually make another one of these?
That immediately was my suspicion of like they didn't just put this out in a vacuum,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Somebody at EA somewhere is trying to build a business case.
I hope.
What would you like to see from a new Burnout Paradise?
I think like if you think about the thing that Burnout can do that Need for Speed can't is like go that much more over the top. Like Need for Speed still tries to put a toe in reality. And some of that is like, they're going to have licensed cars that probably do still have some restrictions about what you can do with their cars in the game.
You don't want to total Ferrari.
That used to be a lot more harsh than it was. Like you couldn't show damage on a licensed car. They've gotten away from that. Like you can fuck these cars up, but not the way these cars fucking disintegrate in Burnout Paradise.
Yeah, those things crumple.
Yeah, and not that it's just like that, but it's like those cars feel light like toys when they're in the air in Burnout Paradise. Like, when you start going off jumps and doing barrel rolls in the air and landing it and stuff, like there's like taking you are taking flight in that game in a way that I feel like Need for Speed doesn't normally get into, and certainly hasn't in these last few. In the right way. They're trying to simulate something.
Yeah, it's a little too grounded for that.
And I think that will be the thing, is you get away from that and just go like, let's just have some fucking fun.
Like this isn't about car culture.
This isn't about our edgy car culture story. About
the edginess is what drags it down.
This isn't fucking like how many energy drinks and car parts can we slam into this thing?
Like just some real shitty tude.
Fast
things.
Like a fast. All the games had their own weird vibes, like Fast and Furious or like crime. But
like that's still Fast and Furious. It's just like it's which Fast and Furious are you pulling from, and that's been the blueprint since like Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways. So I don't know what I think that like you could like the cooperative aspect of it of Burnout Paradise is something that like that Most Wanted had some of as well, but like I think tapping into that a little bit better I think just makes it fun, just like let people have a good time with fun, tight physics in a great looking game. And a like incredibly well designed world. I think that still plays. And as for the other stuff, like, you know, there is still that split of people that like don't like Paradise because they like Burnout 3. Because it, you know, Burnout 3 is not an open world game. It's a much more focused thing. It's the crash junctions as opposed to the more freeform Showtime mode that Paradise has. And I would love to see 3 and Revenge put back out as like backwards compatible. I think that's probably the right way to do those these days. Well, I guess 3 wasn't on 360, but Revenge was. I would like to see those games out in some form. I guess whatever. You can play original Xbox games on an Xbox One if you do it right. Like, I would love to see those games come back out in their original form, but I don't know that a closed... I don't think a closed world set track racing game like plays in this day and age. I think the open world stuff is kind of here to stay, and it just lends itself so much better to collectibles and just things to discover and just fun to have and stuff. That I would definitely want to see an open world Burnout game out of EA.
You need a rock quarry for everybody to meet up in and spin synchronized donuts.
Yeah, totally.
That's what you need.
Just like real life.
Yeah, and I hope that they get there with it. I don't know, or at bare minimum, they finally make a good Need for Speed game again, because there have been some fantastic Need for Speed games as well. But I think that they get too beholden to, well, we got to have licensed fucking car parts. We got to do this. It's all about visual customization of the cars. Can you put a sick wing on it? And like, that stuff's fine. It has a place, but I just want to see these cars get fucked up. and I want to unlock weird, cool, like the car designs in Burnout feel like concept cars in some ways, where they're kind of like real cars, and some of them you're like, oh, you're just trying to make one of those, but just visually different enough to not get sued. Just
make every car a Pinto and they all just explode.
Yeah, I would be into that.
I would play that.
Yeah, I would love to see them make a great modern game in this mold.
Absolutely.
I think it can be done.
What if they announce a new Burnout at E3?
I think it can be done.
That might be a little soon.
It's a little soon.
I don't know. For them to make that decision.
I mean, they might they're probably watching Burnout Paradise's sales or getting ready to watch the sales, and they probably have a contingency plan for if it sells above expectations.
They greenlight a thing. It's possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's possible.
A company that size moves pretty slowly, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So out Friday?
Yeah, it's out Friday.
How much?
40.
40?
I believe.
Okay. All right.
Maybe, I guess, with all the DLC in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit in there.
Yeah.
Like, I am somewhat surprised to hear that price, but at the same time, there is a fucking lot of shit in there.
I want to play some Burnout Paradise.
Let's do it. I'm going to get it.
I'm going to get it.
It feels, it just feels damn good. Yeah.
It's good at that, for sure.
Quick aside, what's the blur status?
I don't think it's playable anymore.
Yeah.
That's a good
I don't think
question.
so either. Servers are probably down, but like license and
well, so that's
what team was
Activision published
Bizarre
Bizarre Creations created it, so
Okay.
Bizarre doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
It's just on the Activision list of games they'll never revisit.
It's in the wind, huh?
Yeah.
So that was a bummer. I liked that game a lot.
I wanted to like it more than I did.
Oh, sure, but I still had.
It was cool. It was a cool idea.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just a forum post after forum post of server down. Are the servers down? Server still up? Like,
no definitive answer.
As of here's a post from 2015 where somebody's asking if the servers are still up.
But yeah, when I totally think of
Blur might not have servers.
Racers,
maybe it was
just
regular Xbox
maybe
Live.
It was just peer to peer.
Yeah, some of that stuff typically
maybe it's still playable.
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't know. Split Second is backwards compatible.
Yep.
I never played that. I always thought that sounded cool.
It's neat the first time the first time you see everything,
right. You
is
see all the
great
set pieces, and then it's kind of done.
By lap 12, you're like, yeah, all right.
Ben fired that up under my account and left it going all weekend.
Did I?
I had so many people messaging, it's like, "Wow, you were super into Split Second." Sorry.
What
play?
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say not much else besides Burnout out this week. But you guys playing anything else of note?
I've been playing a lot more Into the Breeze.
Still at it.
Holy cow!
What squad are you rolling with?
So I at this point have everyone unlocked except the Flame guys.
Those guys are neat because a lot of the troubles I run into of Force being on fire are suddenly you don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems I like that there's like four different squads that very clearly do well in 4 different islands. I've been using a lot of the ice team.
Yes.
At first, I was like, this team seems completely underwhelming. But once you start getting good with that cryo launcher, and you move onto a spawning spot and you freeze another dude and you freeze yourself and then the guy unfreezes you. It just feels so good. That game, all the squads feel really good.
That specific squad becomes super overpowered once you unlock the pilot that grants a shield, because then that mech doesn't get frozen.
Yeah.
You can just constantly be shooting ice.
Is that
okay?
Bethany?
Yeah, Bethany.
Yeah, she's my max level.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah.
Do you think there's room in this game to add more units over time?
I hope so.
Like, would there?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want them to add some sort of like daily challenge. Some sort of like everyone gets the same board.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And, like I feel like they have a lot of room to add more types of islands, more types of friendly units, more squads. Like this is such a good base product that I really hope it seems to be selling pretty well. I see a lot of my friends playing it. I really hope they continue to support it. But I had my first like 4 island run, and that felt incredible. I was rusting hulks, and I had the pilot who's immune to smoke, and I got like my mover mech to get a smoke bomb drop thing and maxed out passive smoke damage. So I was just doing like 3 damage to everyone in
You can
smoke.
just stop them from attacking while you're in there fucking them up.
Nice.
Like, I'm constantly finding new strategies. I like this game is really quite something.
It is.
It's amazing how like they've brought like that deep strategy to surface level, and there's so many instances in which you're like, back in the day, I used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering. In like Dragon Magazine, they would have like an article, it's like, here's the scenario in Magic, right? You're low on life. You've got the 3 cards.
Yeah, like a
here's
chess
what you're
puzzle.
up against. Do it in 1 or 2 moves or something like that.
Yeah,
I would love to see
this,
that.
This game is totally that.
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
so many instances of that. But yeah,
that's
Ben
interesting.
brought it up too. Like, if it to have like a daily challenge.
It's
or
an
something.
interesting idea if the daily challenge was like midway through a battle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drop you into the fucking Kobayashi Maru
Yeah,
and be like, all
that'd
right, figure this out.
Have any of you touched hard mode yet?
Yes.
Ooh.
I actually completed it
Wow.
with 3 of the ice mechs.
Nice.
Completely abusing Bethany, being invulnerable to freezing herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many islands?
2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been scared to try hard because I feel so like strong on normal that I don't want to feel like a dumbass again.
And you still like you take your pilots into hard mode and you could still lose them, right? Like there's still
You can still lose them,
there's
but
still a
you still
risk.
have like you can pull once you unlock a pilot, you can pluck that pilot at any time.
okay,
But when you save them, they're getting levels.
Yeah,
and
you're
they're
only
getting
losing the
bonus
experience that
details.
they've gained on previous runs. Speaking of being scared, I'm still in the middle of the run that I had going at this time last week. Played like 2 missions. I went to the volcano.
Frozen with fear.
I fucking eked out the 3rd island with 1 health left, 1 power grid left, and I was like, fuck
shit.
this. I'm just going to spend all my rep on, I'm going to boost my power grid and then go to the volcano. Barely made it through the first round of the volcano. I was like, fucking awesome. I beat the game. And then they like, spoiler, they drop you in the volcano and make you keep going.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Damn it,
fuck
Ignacy.
this.
Hot pro tip. So your objective in that last thing is to defend the bomb.
Yes.
You can let the bomb die. They drop another and add 3 more turns.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Is that actually the last level?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering, I was just like, fuck, are there going to be like 5 levels to this volcano now or something?
It seems it's way more doable than what I've heard the flagship in FTL.
Dude, fuck that thing. Like that basically ruined FTL for me. Like I love FTL so much, but that thing is so fucked that I literally deleted it from my iPad the last time I fought it.
It was cool. Last week I ended up hanging out with a friend who was playing a lot at his place, and we just like sat on the couch and did a run together, and like
Nice.
it was cool because we were approaching it completely opposite. He was playing the Blitzkrieg, which is the dude with the lightning whip that travels like through the buildings, and he was just looking at it completely different than me, and we were like talking stuff out. It was really fun. Like this game is just such a nice little package.
I ended up sending a screenshot to Austin at one point of a thing. I was like, this is not winnable, right? And he pointed out one thing I was missing. I was like, oh, you're right. That does work that way. And then
That's
like
awesome.
totally made it through. Like it's man, it's a
One of
quality
the
game.
that game is great for like one of my favorite moments in gaming is where you're just like, oh, I figured it out. I'm a genius. And you do it like really fast and then you fuck up.
Yep.
And you're just like,
yeah.
oh, actually, I'm a
Yeah.
dumbass.
It's like fucking, how did I not realize my artillery was going to
Yeah.
die if
Yeah.
I moved it right there? Like, god damn it.
Do you think this game would? Do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing if the game had a tweet screenshot button in it? That just like the only text it added was
thing.
"help,"
That would be great.
help, screenshot
Great
of fight.
thing.
Uh,
Hell yeah.
I see that they added grid coordinates now. It's
Oh, yeah,
pretty
you
neat.
can
Yeah.
turn on
Good,
grid
good. Yeah, like a
coordinates.
chessboard or something.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
they need when you're talking to other people about it.
Moved
Right, it's
it
like,
yeah.
should I
to
go to
a
some
five?
station?
Yeah.
Move your prime to A2.
Every time, like when I send Austin that screenshot, and I've seen him do this with other people, every time he gets one, he's like, hey, can you take another one with the turn order highlighted or whatever? Like, you need that information.
Yeah.
Some people wrote in last week about various ways to stream it to their tablets, which is cool.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
the mouse support apparently works well
Oh,
enough
really?
Oh, wow.
with touchscreen, so there are ways to do that, remote desktop-y type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I busted out my old laptop, and it's the only
Yeah.
thing I'm using it for is
Yeah.
Into the Breach.
Is it on consoles yet?
No.
not yet.
I
Okay.
don't know
Coming.
if it'll ever come to
No. Okay.
consoles.
All right.
FTL never did.
Okay.
Like they're just such mousy,
Yeah,
touch-oriented things. I would be surprised.
Well, this one
It's a
seems
small enough
like-
grid. that,
They could
you know,
with
you-
this one.
you
They could
could-
with
I
this
would love
one.
it on the Switch.
I think FTL would have been too hard, but
Right.
they could do this on consoles.
Switch has a touch screen, so you could.
Yeah.
It is quite a game for sure.
And then just a little more Vermintide. As I was
I want to play
playing
some
it,
more of that.
yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm up to like the 3rd level of difficulty out of 4. As I was playing it, I was like, I'm realizing this is the Gauntlet game I've wanted for like
Okay.
15 years
Sure.
or whenever
Yeah.
Dark Legacy came out.
Sure.
Because I was just like, oh yeah, like mage dwarf with the shield. Like I was like, oh, this is. Because at first I was like, oh, they should make a Gauntlet game, and I was like, this is a Gauntlet game. Like it's hordes of enemies spawning out of a location. I mean, you don't have to blow up the thing that they're spawning out of, but like in feel, it kind of hits those same things.
Are there any enemies in that game that are the equivalent of death?
No.
Okay, then.
They're Chaos Warriors, and that's about as close as you get. I really like that game. I'm having a really good time playing with friends and randos. Like pretty much every rando squad I've been matched into has been like patient if I don't know where I'm going, or like good at pointing out where the tomes are.
That's
like
nice.
because they'll be like, hey, do anyone want to do a tome run? I'll be like, I don't know where they are, and then they just like walk you to each of the locations and show you. Like it seems to be a pretty nice community, at least what I've gotten. Maybe I've gotten lucky, but it's cool. I like their loot system. I like that you're constantly getting the loot, which you can break down to scrap, and then if you want to play another class, you can build some like high level weapons
cool.
to kind of power up your other characters.
Have you had to play multiple? Because since you can only have one of each class in a game, have you had to be pretty versatile?
I've only changed once or twice. Like if a new friend was starting, I had a new friend who started, and he was like, "Oh, I'm like a level 6 dwarf," which is the one I'm playing, so I'm like, "Okay, I'll hop back into Archer or something, and like take 10 minutes to craft some weapons and get not as powerful as my dwarf was, but like pretty good." It still seems. It's got some really good set pieces. It's got some really good, like, Left 4 Dead was very much like you work your way up to like a big zone, and then you fight in that zone while something happens, and then you work your way up to another zone and fight in that zone. This game has some really pretty stuff, just like, it's got cool flame effects, or, just the visual of rats. Like you're in a coliseum and they're all coming down from all the sides.
That's cool.
It's a really good looking game on that front.
Apparently doing pretty well. They put out a thing. They sold like 500,000
500,000.
Oh, cool.
like 2-3 days or something like that.
Yeah, good for them.
Like it's taken off.
Kind of
pretty
no
well.
real problems with it. It's just a nice, fun, sort of like not completely mindless, but it appeals to that Dynasty Warriors trigger in a brain that's like, oh, I'm killing so many dudes. This rules.
Yeah, I don't know if it's every class, but when watching you play the dwarf, like the fact that you could like one swipe would take out like 6 guys at a time looked kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked Left 4 Dead, and I really appreciate like this fantasy spin on it. That's it's changed up enough from that formula, I think.
And it's got the thing that Left 4 Dead did not have for me, which is like some kind of sense of progression between matches, between runs.
Sure.
Like something to take away from
That
playing.
was definitely like when we played it last week. Was that last week? That was last week.
Yeah.
I definitely came out of that going like, man, I got some like fun looking gear, and now we're gonna not play it anymore. But man, I kind of want to check this shit out. Not
Cool.
enough to actually go play with strangers or anything like that. But
I got my first weapon illusion, which are like the transmogrifications from WoW. The
Okay.
weapon skins that
okay.
you can like reapply. It's pretty cool. It's got like
Fashion
a,
Vermintide.
it's got a little dwarf on the shield, and he's just like, ah, and I'm like, that's me. I'm like, rah.
So you.
It's cool.
That's what they say.
Cool. Got any other games?
A
That's
little
kinda
bit of Pit People in between Monster Hunter runs. That came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right? Like officially.
Yes.
What's Pit People?
Pit People is a turn-based strategy from the Behemoth.
Yes.
Makers
Oh,
Castle
right,
Crashers,
right.
Battle Block
Yes.
Theater.
did you play any more of it, Jan?
No.
Yeah. You done?
I was
Yeah.
done.
I was gonna say.
I just wanted being pulled back into the breach. and
It's a
just,
rough
like,
time for another
Yeah.
strategy game.
Yeah.
to come out.
Exactly.
It's two very different turn-based strategy games.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. While there's a lot of deep strategy in Into the Breach, there's not a lot of deep strategy in Pit People. They streamline that and try and make it arcadey to the point that like you don't even pick like who you attack. You just kind of point to your dudes to go in this direction, go on this hex, and if they attack that dude,
Yeah.
maybe they'll attack the other one.
Yeah,
Who
we talked about
knows?
some of the stuff last week. Like, are you enjoying it? Because it's been
Initially, yes.
Yeah.
If you could, I had to like completely remove like any knowledge of like Into the Breach because I had been playing that, and I was really, really into that. And this is a completely different flavor. But I think Jan and I are in the same boat in that we kind of hit a wall with it. We got to a certain point where it's like, hey, we get the mechanics and stuff, but now all of a sudden it's these battles are quickly becoming a chore.
like it's just kind of and it sounds like that not being able to choose who you attack. Like maybe it's just not enough.
It's
like maybe a little
they
too-
they want to speed up that
Yeah.
they want to make it both co-op and PvP.
Even
that
though they want to speed up the pace, I find the battles I was in were
they
taking
take
forever.
a while, especially when you're up against troops that have like helmets and stuff because a lot of the weapons that you have are not going to work against them. They do very minimal damage.
Yeah.
Battles take an awfully long time. But it is cool, like going on. You do a loadout and you go on a run and maybe take a cage with you so you can recruit new people and stuff. And it's from the Behemoth, it's got their charm. Take it or leave it if you like it. I do actually. The narrator's hilarious. In it.
I feel like I liked it up until Battle Block Theater.
Okay.
Like, that was the moment where I was like, all right,
got a little
I've
to be too
seen-
much.
Like I liked Alien
Castle
Hominid a
Crashers
lot.
have it?
I liked Castle Crashers.
A little bit, yeah.
And-
Less voice acting in that one, but there's a ton of the narrator in this one.
Okay.
He's a very, very prominent presence, and,
Yes.
and luckily he's really good. But it's funny. It's still got that visual style and stuff. Like I love sitting in the home or hub world, and like all the buildings are bouncing to the song, and it's a good feeling. But yeah, like after 4 or 5 hours, I feel like I've seen a lot of what that game has to offer, and it's hard going back to it. But we'll probably do a quick look on it, see if I'm any farther. It doesn't do multiple saves as far as I can tell. So it's like if we're gonna get what we get when we hop into that.
It'd be cool to see. I think we played the first early access release on UPF like
Yeah,
a billion years ago.
yeah,
So,
it was probably a couple years ago.
yeah.
For sure. But yeah, like I said, I initially liked it quite a bit, but it's grinding me down a little bit. It's kind of a bummer.
I played some Q.U.B.E. too.
Yeah.
Q.U.B.E.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the French spelling.
Yeah.
Did you guys play Q.U.B.E.?
No.
I feel like I totally did, but I couldn't.
Does that look familiar?
Yes, I played
Do you like
a
Portal?
handful of minutes of that.
Do you like Portal?
I like Portal.
It's like Portal. Kind
I like
of.
Portal.
It's like puzzle rooms, a first-person puzzle game with puzzle mechanics.
Okay.
First game was like super sterile, like just these featureless white tile rooms with these colored tiles, and you do all this manipulation. Like this game is like that, except like grungy and fucked up. Like the tiles are all askew, and like
So
you're
like Portal 2 then.
like you are a named character. I don't think the first one had much of a story, but you're a named character in this one. You are talking to a lady.
Yeah.
Well, you have a voice. I think
What?
you're Amelia. You're talking to a lady on the other end of a radio.
Gladys.
There might be a spaceship coming to destroy the Earth. But
Gordon Freeman.
you have amnesia.
The spaceship is a lie.
You have amnesia, so I'm not sure.
How's the end credit song?
I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. It's been a real slow burn, unfortunately.
Good puzzles.
Puzzles are okay.
Okay.
Like it's just like the first
You
game. You
feel
got,
like that accomplishment when you figure something out?
they're really straightforward. I haven't felt like super duper challenged, and they're all just kind of like Because you only have like 3, or so far I'm like halfway through it. I think you only have 3 powers.
The worst is when it's like, okay, I see how to do this, but manipulating all of this stuff.
No.
Is a chore.
It's totally fine for that
Okay,
stuff. It's
good.
just that there's not much you can do. Like there are pads in the walls that you can activate. You can make different colors to do different things. But all you can do is you can make it a bounce pad, or make a big like rectangular block stick out of it, or make a block fall out of it. And that's kind of it. And there's switches on the floor and stuff, but like the puzzle mechanics are limited enough. And I'm just getting to the point where you can start manipulating the environment. So that's helping a little bit. But like
Neat.
puzzle is kind of one note, and the story is just taking a long time to get going. But it's got a super nice look to it. So
Is Q.U.B.E an acronym?
I don't know. It's got to stand for. I just pulled up our quick look of the original game, and our deck implies that it stands for quietly undress before entering.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now you're talking.
Okay.
That's what Q.U.B.E is about.
You have a plaque that says that over your front door, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's weird.
Eh.
I've been waiting a long time to tell you. That's weird.
Well, it's.
I mean, I'll respect the
polite.
rules of
I mean,
your house.
yeah, no.
I'm not going to not undress, but it's a little weird.
We just don't want to get the carpets dirty.
Right.
So is it like a vampire thing? Like
Yes.
you can't come in unless you undress?
Mhm.
Okay.
That old vampire rule.
Right.
Nudes only.
That's right. Smear yourself in garlic.
Uh-huh. Smear yourself with something.
Yes. Okay. Let's take another break, and then we'll come back and read emails.
It's time to get your internet business off the ground.
What kind of business are we talking?
Hey, look, man, I don't want to know about your business
Okay.
until you're ready to show me your business.
Is it safe to put it on the regular internet?
That's a question for you. I mean, I don't know what you're selling.
I feel like this conversation got sorted real fast.
Yeah, I don't know.
My business is fully above board and
Great.
ready for primetime internet.
Then terrific. Okay, then you are ready to use Squarespace because it's time to get that business online with
Hot.
easy to use services like Squarespace.
Yeah. Okay.
They've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers. It makes it easy for you to turn your ideas into a new and unique website.
I like design, but I don't know how to design.
You don't need to know.
I'm not a designer, but
Yeah.
I know it when I see it.
Exactly. They've got designers that did all that hard work. You just plug your stuff in onto you hang it from their framework. You're like, I'm going to hang my business on this beautiful framework, customize it as much or as little as I need.
Yep.
And then pow, bam, pow.
You're online.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are online. It is all optimized for mobile right out of the box. So if you're online from a phone, it's still there.
Wow.
And they'll let you keep track of things with analytics.
Do you know you can be online anywhere?
I am online right now.
You can never not.
I am never not online.
Yeah.
When I am asleep, there's some part of me that is still online.
Yeah.
With Squarespace, there's nothing to install, patch, upgrade, ever. But if you do have a question, they've got 24/7 customer support right there to help you.
They're online too.
That's right. They are online to help you get online. Destiny is calling.
Oh.
It says you need a new website.
Whoa. Wow.
Make it with Squarespace.
Okay, Destiny. Whatever you say.
Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST, and that'll save you 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code BOMBCAST. Books for your ears. Put the book in your ears.
You're gonna have to like grind it up so you can pour it in there. I'm not sure that a regular book is gonna fit.
Oh man, I have got news for you.
I've tried.
You don't need to do that anymore because there's Audible.
Ah.
Audible is right there.
They'll grind it up for you.
No, it's audio books.
Like stick a
You
funnel
can,
in.
no, you can listen to someone reading the book to you instead of reading the book.
Oh, it's
it's-
like putting the information in your ear.
You put the information all up in your ears.
Now I got it.
Information such as Ready Player One. How about that?
How about it?
That's a book.
Is it?
It's going to be a movie soon.
Oh, I hear.
The much anticipated star-studded movie release of Ready Player One is nearly upon us. So why not immerse yourself in the virtual world before watching the
Who
movie?
needs Steven Spielberg?
On Audible, you can download and listen to Ready Player One.
Yeah. It's out there right now.
Yeah, with narration from Will Wheaton.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Huh? They've got an unmatched selection of audiobooks. They don't just have that. They've got tons. They've got audio shows, they've got news, comedy, and more. Audible is it's a leading provider of premium digital spoken audio information and entertainment.
I mean, it says odd right in the name.
Yeah,
so
AUD odd.
probably got some audio.
That's right. Whether
there.
it's on your phone, you hook it up to your car, from a tablet, or at home on an Amazon Echo, Audible helps you listen to more books by letting you switch seamlessly between devices, picking up exactly where you left off. That's convenient.
It is.
Yeah.
I like convenience.
They have the bookmark handled
I know
for
it's
you.
I know it's a controversial stance, but convenience is nice.
I am with you on that one. I am definitely with you on that one. As an Audible member, you'll get a monthly credit for any audiobook in the store, regardless of price, and unused credits roll over to the next month. If you don't like your audiobook, you can exchange it, no questions asked.
That's good.
Yeah. On top of that, your books are yours to keep. You can go back and re-listen to them anytime, even if you cancel your membership.
Wow.
That's right.
Forever.
Forever books.
Yeah.
You can visit audible.com/bombcast or text bombcast to 500-500 to start your 30-day free trial with a free audiobook of your choice. Audible highly recommends listening to Ready Player One before the movie comes out.
Yeah, you should know what you're getting into.
Yeah. You can head over to audible.com/bombcast. That's AUDIBLE.com/bombcast. Or just text bombcast to 500-500 to start that 30-day free trial. Do it.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
Mails of the electronic variety.
Gross.
Yummy!
They're here. Mail, like letters, like
Oh,
communiques,
okay. All right.
missives.
All right.
Okay.
I'm back on board.
All right. Bombcast@giantbomb.com.
Email.
Emails. Nathan from Tumwater, Washington. That sounds familiar.
Sounds gross.
He may have written in before. Hi, are you a fan of daylight savings?
water.
Yep. No.
Need something for your tum water?
I need you to put this pen in my gut so I can get this tum water out.
He lives,
Drain them.
he lives in Washington.
Okay.
Are you a fan of daylight savings, or
No.
should we just
Hell
do away
yeah.
with it as a nation?
We should be on it year round.
Yeah, I feel like there aren't many daylight savings fans.
It's me. You know what's good about it?
What?
When I drive home, it will not be pitch fucking black every
Yeah,
night.
that's nice.
It will not drag me down into the
Yeah.
depths every
does-
night as I drive home.
It does feel good to leave the office and not have it be dark.
I like
I
that.
like saving daylight, you know?
Yeah, having it lighter later. I mean, I would rather do the fucking the proper science thing and just be like, hey, everyone, show up everything an hour later. Like this 9 to 5 shit,
Yeah.
it's 10 to 6. It's
Yeah.
like
Do
like
anyway.
like move everything back
Yeah.
and just say like, hey, time is time. It's science.
Time is time.
Time is time.
man.
Lying
You're
about
making
what
a lot of
time
really
it
good
is
points here, man.
is fucking crazy, man. Man invented that shit, but time is real. You know what I'm
None
saying?
of us are real, but time is.
Time will be here after I'm gone. You know why? Time.
Time after time.
Yes, yeah. If you fall, I will catch you in time.
Deep.
I will be waiting, and that takes time.
Time after time.
There's no time after time. There's only time.
It's fun falling back and springing forward.
Spring forward's not fun.
No, not at all.
Spring
I like
forward
getting an extra
sucks.
hour sometimes.
No, you
Sometimes-
lose.
I'm going
an
back to
hour.
the falling back.
I had a scumbag friend that,
And I get another hour.
like most of my friends, scumbags.
Sure.
But he would treat in the fall when you would go back in time that he had an hour to do whatever he wanted to do,
Yeah,
and then he kind of got a little bit shifty with some stuff.
really.
Yeah.
Like
his-
that
he
hour
was like,
never,
this is a
crime
bonus
hour.
like that hour, like that hour
It's
never
the
happened.
purge hour.
Yeah. Like his own personal purge hour. No actual theft or other crimes were committed, but
That
some
he'll admit to.
yeah, well, you're right. But he always treated it as like, yeah, nothing ever happened. I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? I went back home.
That sounds pretty shifty.
I feel like the most I've ever. It was an extra hour for drinking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Jan, that's a lot of condemnation coming out from somebody who purposefully started dating somebody on leap day, so you
You're right.
only have to go one out of
You're
every
right.
4 years.
When I said my friend, it could have been me.
The most drunk I've ever been was on a daylight
Purge hour.
day, and I remember looking at my phone to like see what time it was. It was like 1:30 or whatever, and then like an hour later, it was 1:30 again, and I freaked the fuck out. I was like, "Oh my god, I've lost all sense of time."
I managed to stream two different extra lives on the fallback day,
And you're like,
so like,
oops.
dude, there is nothing more demoralizing at like 2 a.m. when you see, oh god, now it's 1 again.
Extra hour of raising money for the kids.
I know,
That's
I know.
great.
But it just happens to be right in like the worst part of when you are right when you are doubting your ability to stay awake all night is when it hits, and that's scary.
But yeah, for me, it's purely I mean, I have a ton of fond memories of just like, we're gonna play some baseball after work and stuff, because it's daylight saving and it's still light out. Like that ability to like have a full day and then be like, oh, I could still do some shit.
Yeah, like psychologically, when you leave and it's already dark, you feel like the day's done.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, well,
you might as well just go home and lay in your
strip
coffin.
off all my clothes and lay face down.
Yep,
And,
totally.
That's what he does at his house.
What do you do?
You mentioned the plaque.
When it's dark out, I go to like a restaurant or a bar. Or
You can do that in the
You're
day.
not. You'll learn. You'll see.
We'll crush you.
Give it.
That's a lie. Also, I don't go out. I just
I'd say another
go home and play Dota.
another 5 or 6 years, and you'll start to understand.
Who doesn't respect the daylight saving time? Which countries?
Well, Hawaii doesn't.
Arizona?
they
have
don't?
it.
Okay.
Does Arizona not?
Oh, that's right.
Arizona
Yeah.
does not.
Florida just voted to do it full time.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds like
or
fun.
or like I don't think the people voted on that. I think the government said like, what if we were just daylight savings year round?
Yeah, this will fix Florida.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
That's a step.
One less hour of darkness might actually do some things for crime. And
Fair. Florida man is going to have an interesting experience.
he's going to see a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it is just the like, hey, some extra fucking sunshine.
Yeah, I
on
like
my dark ass fucking life.
Yeah, I like
psychological trick, but whatever.
like the benefit of it is cool, but the process of getting there is kind of shitty.
Resetting clocks is a pain in the ass.
Like it.
How many clocks do you have to reset? How many clocks do you
I
still
enjoy
have?
that. I like doing
Oven
that.
clock, microwave clock.
That's a fun chore.
Car clock.
We got
For me, it was car, microwave, and 2 clock radios.
the cars not do it automatically yet.
Mine
Some probably
doesn't.
do.
It's
I had to set it up. But
mine has an analog clock in it. It's the dumbest thing. Like what the fuck? It's got this full,
You
like
have to tune it.
practically, yeah. It's like it has a screen that tells you how many more miles you can drive. All this other shit. No clock in that screen. It's just a fucking a fancy like luxury like an analog clock. Fuck that. I want to look at the thing and do them. Okay, 5, 10, 15. I'm driving a car. Tell me what fucking time it is.
Are computerized car head units as bad as I suspect that they are?
I think they're getting better.
Dude, like they are made by robots
Yeah.
for fucking people to never.
Because we had to go somewhere yesterday, so we rented a Subaru Crosstrek for a few hours, and I couldn't get the Bluetooth pairing to work with my phone because I wanted to play some music.
Yep.
Like it locked up, like the thing stopped.
Oh, it locked up because you were moving.
No.
Oh,
it was
okay.
like it was
All right.
some fucked up bug where like the buttons became disabled and nothing would happen, and I couldn't figure out what else to do about it. So when we were sitting at a red light, we
You had to reboot the goddamn car.
shut the car off and cranked the
Turn
engine
it off and
again.
on again.
And that totally, sure enough, that rebooted the radio.
A lot of times with radios like that, if you hold the power button in,
Yeah,
it will force
I tried
reboot
that.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine has crashed
Okay.
a couple of times. Which
Your
is,
car?
Yeah, my car has
God,
crashed
just
and had
drove
to
it off
reboot.
into the ditch.
Yeah.
I Googled about that problem just to see what people who actually own the car would do. And like one guy was like, oh yeah, I just disconnected the battery for an hour and that fixed it. Or like people were like, oh yeah, I had to take it into the dealership to get this fixed. Just like, fucking what?
Why do I have to reboot my TV and my car now? That's fucked up.
Yeah, and well, I mean, and now
Now my
Apple
fridge-
and Android have their own car
Yeah.
interfaces.
Oh.
So if your car supports CarPlay, then it's like a standardized Apple-looking interface, which is not great, but
we
is
have
at
to
least
like boot into it. Yeah, I'm using Android Auto, and it's been awesome.
yeah.
actually, how well it
it has to.
integrates.
I have to imagine it's better than the
It's
fucking
fucking
the
awesome.
default shit.
Yeah.
Because this shit that
Yeah,
I've got,
default shit.
like the Lexus shit that is like Toyota shit, is just fucked.
Yeah, my mom has a Scion, one of the new Scions, and it's got some fucking. It's called like Navi, and it's just like if you touch
That's
this,
annoying.
if you like put in a map input, right, and you set a destination. If you tap the screen at any point, it just loses the destination, and of course you activate the radio through the screen and like other stuff, so you just can't touch the screen.
Yeah, and there's probably a workaround for that. There's probably a real way around it.
Yeah.
But like, it's just the
My
menu
mom is certainly
flow,
never going to
everything
take the time to figure it out.
everything about these things. I've yet to have a great experience, and that's a dumb thing to want, but like a great experience with any kind of car interface, whether it's like a rental or anything like that.
Especially like the default like interface. Yeah, we did car shopping not too long ago, and yeah, that was a big point. Is we needed to have Android Auto because like most of the interfaces were super clunky and just didn't work well. And
Lexus has a fucking separate app. So there's stuff. There's integration for like Pandora and like iHeartRadio and Yelp and some other shit like that. But you don't launch those apps on your phone. You launch a Lexus app on your phone that then it connects to the car, and then that will let the data pass through to the car. So if that app is running all the time, meaning don't use your phone for anything else, then you can use Pandora in your car, or you could just use your. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Terrible. Just fucking awful shit.
How are we gonna pass around the aux cord?
Yeah.
You don't do that anymore. Ben.
Yeah. Now you got to like, okay, pair your phone.
Sync
pair
your
your
phone.
phone now. Pair your phone now.
Sync your phone.
Oh no! All my contacts are coming.
I have to update.
All
Hold
my
on.
contacts are being uploaded into your car, and now you have all the phone numbers of all my drug dealers.
all my emails and text messages are popping up on the screen now.
Yeah. Great.
My car's reading them out loud.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know nothing else. I would certainly trust people who can't write a radio app to come up with routines to drive a car by itself. Like that sounds great.
They probably have different teams.
Maybe.
Let's hope so.
No, there's only one.
It's just one guy.
Craig.
He sucks.
Fuck you, Craig.
This email says, "Hello, please keep this anonymous."
We won't tell anybody.
Don't tell.
I'll turn it off.
Nobody-
I'll turn off
nobody
the podcast.
Okay.
I'm a producer in the video game industry, and because of that, I try to pay attention to all types of potential risks to publishers and developers. One of the things this has led me to learn about is piracy, and on the Nintendo Switch, it seems that the first boot code that runs when it powers on has a bug in it, and that code is burned into a ROM chip on systems that were at least shipped through December. This bug can give full root kernel access and can't be patched out. The people who found it haven't necessarily released it, but other people are racing to replicate the bug and exploit it. Nintendo sold almost 15 million systems as of December 31st. Where do you guys see piracy going on the Switch if it becomes unpatchable for 15 million systems? I know I have clients that are extremely worried about shipping on Switch with this looming on the horizon. Have you heard? I know you read about some of that stuff.
I try to keep up on what's going on with that shit.
That's a weird one because like you hear about consoles with exploits being like firmware dependent. It's like, oh, if it's on so-and-so firmware from 18 months ago, you can do this. But like I've never heard of one where it's like, okay, any of these systems sold before a certain date are going to have this forever.
If they having that is not enough.
Okay.
Having a way to exploit that is also the thing, and that is usually the things they can patch.
Okay.
So patching basically like, that's the thing looming inside that is always going to be vulnerable. But if you can keep patching the ways people get to that.
Basically plugging holes.
Yeah, if you plug up all the holes to get there, then firmware updates will prevent people from getting on it.
It's like how Iron Man always has that shrapnel that's right next to his heart.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Just come up with a thing. Okay.
Yeah,
Now I get it.
exactly
Yes.
the same thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, Nintendo is always releasing firmware updates.
Yeah.
Everyone is always releasing firmware updates, finding holes, closing holes, hearing about holes on the internet, closing them up, all this other
I hear
stuff.
a lot about holes on the internet.
Yeah, there's tons of holes on the internet, and so everything is, phones, everything is always getting firmware patched to try to prevent people from doing this shit.
Sure,
It's not just
sure.
game consoles;
Yeah.
it's everything.
Yeah, like
TVs.
this email made it sound like there was a difference with this, but maybe from what you're saying, there's not so much.
I mean, it's an unpatchable thing. I've heard the 3DS described the same way, and they're still making 3DS games. They're still selling 3DSs.
Sure.
They have sold a fuckload of 3DSs, and they don't seem super concerned about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that there's a ton of third parties still making 3DS games.
Yeah, I
so
was gonna say that.
maybe that's been an impact or something, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like something that has prevented them from doing their thing and still making money. So I don't know that it's necessarily that huge of a problem, because it does require users to be like, oh, well, now this system is offline forever because I've chosen this dark path. whether it's for homebrew, whether it's for piracy, like whatever you're doing with it, like you are divorcing yourself largely from the ongoing services of the
legitimate uses of
the
system.
shop, multiplayer.
Yeah. Like a lot of that stuff is typically no longer available to you. And I think that's a choice that a lot of players are not necessarily always ready to make, especially
I'm not.
Especially with a system like the Switch that still has a ton of games to come.
Right.
The reasons to stay on current firmware are good.
I mean, it's basically the classic iTunes strategy, right? Of like make using the product legitimately like easier and cheaper than the alternative.
That's the idea.
Yeah,
cheaper maybe.
They haven't quite gotten there on the cheaper stuff yet.
But make it better than free, I guess.
They do price their games pretty aggressively.
Yeah, and I think the 3DS is maybe a different situation because it is a little closer to end of life.
Yeah.
And stuff. So there's a lot of stuff out there. But yeah, I've seen videos of people like running Linux on a Switch and all this other weird shit, and you're like, man, that's crazy. And then you've got people just licking their fucking chops because they know that where the homebrew is, the other stuff is sure to follow.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would necessarily be worried as a game producer or something like that this would necessarily cut into sales in a dramatic fashion, because typically I feel like the number of hoops you have to jump through to get there are usually not worth it for the end user. They've made that stuff. Usually it is just difficult enough or just enough of a hassle that I feel like the common user that might have heard about it will go like, oh, that's cool. Oh, I already updated my firmware.
Yeah.
It's too late for me, or, or stuff like that. I don't see this being a huge problem for Nintendo.
They actually just put out.
What about third parties?
I think third parties have a weird time on Nintendo platforms regardless, because people tend to buy them for Nintendo stuff. And, third parties are definitely finding success on the Switch right now.
Yeah, totally.
But I would have said that about the Wii at this point in its lifespan also.
Yeah.
Like long term, is the Switch still the place to be? We'll see. They're selling a fuckload of them, so there's definitely a potential audience there.
It seems to be continuing the pace for indies. You see, a lot of.
Yeah, every time I go in the eShop, it's just fucking a million indie games on there.
And all those indie games probably came out on PC earlier anyway.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about a platform where piracy happens, like they're already on the PC. So it's never about stopping all piracy. It just can't be done. It's too many people with too much time on their hands that see it as a challenge that want
forcing.
to. Yeah. It's never about stopping 100% of all piracy. It's about stopping it in that initial sales window and making it inconvenient enough that, that no idiot off the street can just do it.
Yeah.
It's not like buying a CD burner and going like, yay. Like the only thing that was stopping people from doing that in the Sega CD days or 3DO or whatever was that CD burners were fucking expensive.
Yeah. Like I remember the
Wii was
Wii,
such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
God damn.
like the Wii, the Twilight Princess like bootleg homebrew thing. That was pretty easy. Like that was an instance of like,
that stuff eventually.
Oh shit, this is actually a problem because it's
and maybe the Wii is like that middle ground of like the online features were not enough of a draw to where like, oh, my Wii's offline. Maybe people will be like, fine, who cares?
That's just an example of like.
But also that's still like, there's still that fear of like, I did this wrong and now my Wii is completely broken.
Yeah.
I bricked this fucking thing. Whereas like, the Dreamcast was the ultimate opposite of that. Is just like, hey, you can just burn these discs and they run. Like, I feel like that was the last time that worked. And the 3DO, and Sega CD and a lot of that stuff. You can do that with, but that was just security through obscurity or it was hard.
Nobody had a CDR.
Yeah, nobody had a CDR. And by the time like the PlayStation had come out and stuff like that, when CDR started becoming more affordable, it wouldn't run them directly.
Yeah.
So people had to fucking get paper clips and all kinds of other weird garbage. So I don't view that as a. If I were making games, I would not be worried about the Switch in that way.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's enough of an issue there. They've properly incentivized, like Smash Brothers will come out. People will want to be on the latest firmware to play Smash Brothers. Like I think the overwhelming majority of Switch owners will stay on the up and up and be on the latest firmware and do all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other people, like, I feel like a lot of those people probably lost to you anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to
Probably
do what they're going to do.
Not going to buy a bunch of games to begin
Because
with.
they're, or they're just into tinkering,
Yeah.
and then they don't care about the game aspect. There are plenty of people that are just like, I just want to do this to see if it can be done.
Yeah.
They just
I don't
pushed
I want to make this a media player.
firmware 5.0 just came out this morning, actually,
For a Switch?
on the Switch.
Okay.
Whole lot of parental controls.
All right. Why not?
And
That's.
some-
I feel like that's what the
Good.
last
I need
Sony
somebody
update
to step
was
in
too.
and
Yeah.
moderate my shit.
And some Kirby user icons. That's
Oh,
Okay.
Well,
all right.
about all I saw.
They got a DDD.
Not a lot of interesting stuff.
a what?
You got that DDD?
A DDD.
A DDD.
Yeah, the Sony 5.5
Yeah, I saw that one too.
hit also, like
Yeah.
that's out of beta or whatever, and that seemed like a big bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you're into parental controls.
Boy,
Who's not?
Yeah.
As a parent, I'm not really into parental controls.
Do you envision yourself being into it someday?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we've kind of curated stuff on his tablet.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's definitely a need for that. Like I don't want certain shit to pop up in Netflix or when he
Right.
goes to, the Amazon video or whatever.
Or someday, like, he's going to go like, oh, this is how the App Store is loaded. This is how I can buy more stuff.
you just loaded it
Dad's credit card.
completely with those like Elsa Tooth Fairy replacement
Yeah.
dentist YouTube videos that
Mhm.
are auto-generated.
Yeah. The good stuff.
We do not have YouTube on there.
Good.
No.
Mark writes from London.
Hi.
Microsoft's E3 2014 press conference is just wrapping up on Giant Bomb TV, which had some great games in it like Forza Horizon 2, Inside, and The Witcher 3. However, it also included delights such as Evolve, Assassin's Creed Unity, Dragon Age Inquisition, Fable Legends, Project Spark, Master Chief Collection, Phantom Dust, Scalebound, Crackdown?
Jeez. Oh yeah.
There's a question mark on Crackdown. Not sure if we just stumbled across a particularly good one, but chat was having a fun time remembering all these dead or broken games.
Shit.
Patrick's excitement for Phantom Dust in particular was tragic. Have you ever gone back to watch previous E3 press conferences, and what were some particularly memorable ones, if so? I mean, we do game tapes, obviously.
Yeah, game tapes is that.
I don't know, that
we're
was a-
about due for another E3
Yeah,
press
yeah,
conference
we-
for that.
we
I
should-
think
we should
gotta
do one of
figure
those
out
soon.
which one would be good. Maybe that one would be good.
Yeah, but I don't know. That was a weird swerve on his question here because this is more about like announcing a bunch of games that never happened to me.
Yep.
Like especially after somebody wrote in about Agent last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet at the time that seemed like a pretty good press conference.
Yeah,
Full of promise.
sure.
The reality maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not there.
Whatever.
They're scale bound.
They've been pretty
Did Fable Legends come out?
No.
Okay.
No.
canceled.
Fable Fortune. That's
That card
the free to
game?
play thing that just came
Yeah,
out.
the card game
That's
came
recently.
out.
I was-
Fable Legends was going to be free to play, but it got canceled.
Phew.
Project Spark, I think barely came out of beta, or maybe
Yeah.
it never came out of beta
It kind of came out.
before they shut it down.
Came-
Crackdown's going to come out.
I hope so.
It'll
Crackdown will release.
Crackdown will come out.
Apparently, those X enhancements for Crackdown 1 are quite good. Apparently
Really?
it makes that game look
Oh.
pretty good. I want to play some of that.
Yeah, I want to get that installed.
Crackdown is a good game. Drew in Cincinnati. Why are professional wrestlers wet all the time?
It's hard work.
Yeah, I don't know. They
Yeah.
like that oiled up look of a bodybuilder or something.
No,
There are a
just-
lot of
they're
guys
sweaty
pouring.
all
There are
the
a lot of guys
time,
literally
yeah.
pouring water over their head
There's a
right
bunch of
before they
lights
walk
on
through the
them.
curtain.
It makes them look shiny.
Yeah.
It keeps you cool while you're
Yeah.
running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had like dry hair, it'd probably be unpleasant.
Yeah, that wet hair look.
Yeah.
It's maybe one of my favorite things about AJ Styles is him going the other way on the wet hair thing.
Yeah,
Well, no,
going-
my hair's
He
gonna be
blow
dry.
dries it right
and
before he
Full on
goes out.
soccer mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's a lot of floof to that. Like he just blow dried it.
AJ's hair has gone in some wild directions
Yeah.
lately. It's only getting better. By better, I mean maybe worse, but better.
When do you think he goes back to the really short on
Flat
top,
top, yeah.
and like
Oh, that's when he goes
the
corporate.
bro necklaces?
yeah.
You remember
corporate
the
AJ Styles
shells that he used to wear?
Yes, definitely the shells.
Brad, help.
What?
Brad, get us out.
Wet
Okay.
wrestlers.
All right.
I feel like Luke Harper is just actually greasy.
That's
Uh-huh.
legit.
Mm-hmm.
I've hugged
Like-
him.
Like lard? What are we talking about?
Yeah, he just oozes.
He wants to be
lard.
He wants to slip out of those holds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so he
That
just
makes sense.
oils himself up.
Yep.
Yeah. Like putting Vaseline in a cut.
Mhm.
What?
What?
What? You never put Vaseline in a cut?
No.
No.
Slips. Yeah, punches slip right off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What?
I don't know either.
Yeah, that's what boxers do. They just completely
that's-
cake themselves in Vaseline, so
Yeah.
the punches just.
Oh, weird. Oh,
glancing
yeah, that makes
blow.
sense. That's how we used to get ticks off. Put
we would burn them.
You
You ever
burn
burn
them.
it?
Smear Vaseline on them until they suffocate, and then,
Oh,
they just,
really?
then they just Because if you pull them, the head stays
Yeah.
stuck in, and that's not good.
And then they throw up their sickness into you.
Yeah, you want to make them die, and then you can remove the
Yeah,
whole
would
thing.
burn their butts.
I say,
Yeah.
I've heard of people doing fire.
Yeah.
That seems
They get real
scary.
freaked out when you start burning them.
Yeah,
But-
so would I.
yeah, they don't like it.
You're
Sometimes
saying we
they'll-
don't have to test
sorry.
that? You're saying you're pretty confident that you would freak out if you were on fire?
I've never had one actually detach though.
Especially
because
if
of it.
you-
they just burn to a crisp. Like they're in there. They're
Yeah.
in there
The
for
one time I
life.
caught on fire, I was weirdly calm about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
Same.
you know you were going to get caught on fire?
No. I had been drinking.
So the possibility was definitely there, at least like a tiny bit.
Yeah. It was just my clothes, though.
Oh,
It was
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't actually.
No hair.
No. Well,
Mm.
I don't know.
I played Hot Hands with my hands on fire once.
It seems like a bad way to go.
What's hot hands?
You know, the game where your hands are down, you slap your friend's
Oh.
hands. Yeah.
That sounds like an unfair advantage.
Yeah, it added more pressure to get them out of the way.
Yeah.
If I was playing against you, I'd just be like,
And now my
Oh, what
hands
you
are just
do
on
is
fire.
What you do is you bundle up his hands and put out the fire.
oh,
You just like
Did
slap
you-
it out.
that's
of
what
him.
real
Did you
friends
soak
do.
gloves in alcohol? Or
Yes.
what? Okay.
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 Thanks. All right.
No.
Question from Joe.
Sub Joe.
What's the weirdest third-party peripheral you've ever seen? For me, it was the Q.U.B.E Hunter for the Nintendo 64. It was a Game Boy emulator that plugged into the cartridge slot. The Game Boy cartridge was plugged into the top, and an N64 cartridge was plugged into the back in order to get to the emulator to boot. It had some interesting features, and there was a built-in cheat function. However, the Q.U.B.E Hunter does not emulate game audio and instead plays the Q.U.B.E Hunter theme song on loop. It's the thing of nightmares.
Really?
It sounds great.
Yeah.
I didn't hear. I never owned one. I remember seeing them in magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
Thinking that was cool.
There were all
Yeah.
sorts of weird
Yeah.
peripherals, like stuff you could only have with cartridge-based systems because you
Yeah.
could do like pass-throughs and all
Mhm.
this other weird shit that, like,
Mhm.
you know, the days of the Game Shark and the Game Genie and stuff. I miss them. Pro Action Replay.
Yeah. It's the weird stuff.
Yeah.
that-
Those
far
are
as
super like a Pro Action Replay even today is like on a Saturn is super functional.
Yeah.
Super useful.
Absolutely.
Like for codes even. You know, just-
Right.
later years, the stuff that would come out of the gray market.
Yeah.
Like Pacific Rim type stuff. Just no-name copiers and all kinds of weird
Right.
Yeah.
subversion
Wild, weird
devices.
stuff. Or just like there were companies that were trying to sell like save state devices that were just like, here's a thing, you plug the cartridge into the top, you plug it into the system, and there's a button on the device that will save the state of the game
Yep.
to it, but it doesn't work with every game because of course, why would it? And it has batteries in it to save
Yeah.
stuff. So if the batteries die, you lose. It's just
A lot of speedrunners use those actually.
still.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, a lot of just weird shit like that.
One of the most strangest like official devices that I have is a GPS unit that plugs into the top of my PSP.
right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
thing.
remember that thing.
I don't know
That's
why
right.
the hell I bought that. I wanted to use like maps or something like that.
Huh.
I'm
But I feel like the map thing didn't even come out in the U.S. Did
no,
it?
it didn't.
Oh, you're right. I
Yeah,
think that was a Japan
I
only
imported
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Weird.
So it wouldn't. I mean, the software wouldn't have U.S. maps in it. Did it ever
Right.
work?
I never got it to work.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
yeah.
sitting in a box.
They make a
little white
camera
box.
for the PSP as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, for the Talk U thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
You Talk,
You
whatever.
Talk,
Was
yeah.
that Bluebird dude?
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I envisioned myself going to like Mexico or something like that and using that U Talk thing to translate stuff on the fly, and then popping in my GPS unit.
It's a beautiful dream.
I know.
The PSP dream was a beautiful dream.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Weirdest peripheral I owned was the Odama mic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
The pinball.
Sure.
Just like,
Yeah.
a mic exclusively for yelling 4 different commands
Into the
to your-
controller.
For one
Yeah.
game.
Well, that was a
Yeah.
C-Man thing, right?
Oh, that
I
was
mean,
different.
like essentially, like
Oh, it's a similar.
yeah,
thing,
similar,
yeah.
similar device.
Sort of, yeah.
The
You were
Hey You
commanding
Pikachu
your
mic.
army to, yeah.
Yeah.
For
Remember
sure.
the Wii microphone, the external thing that you set up?
Oh, it's
and
so bad.
it was
I
like,
used
oh, you can
once
talk to
for
people with
Monster
Animal
Hunter.
Crossing.
Oh
It's
God,
just
that's
a-
right.
Oh, yeah.
That weird like room mic that
Yeah.
was supposed to sit
Oh,
on your
yeah.
TV
It's
and like
real.
barely-
I used it once.
The precursor to Wii Music.
I remember
Sure.
getting an X-Link Kai, which was like an
yeah.
external like Wi-Fi device,
Mhm.
so I could play PSP like Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
With people
I still
that
really
were not right by me.
Yeah, I've done. I know I've brought it up before, but I still fucking love that thing I got off Woot that plugged into the Xbox controller that
Oh,
like
yeah.
basically went into the mic slot so it would record
was a soundboard.
Yeah,
for,
it was basically a soundboard for Xbox Live mics.
Oh, that's great.
So you could record whatever you wanted in this dumb box and then just hit buttons to like spit those out at people as you were playing games with
They're
them.
like voice changers.
Ooh,
and
really
stuff. Yeah,
dumb.
it's real.
Gang, gang.
It was a real stupid device.
Gang,
Yeah,
gang.
it was real dumb.
I showed Griffin the Bub Rub video.
Good.
And now he's like, woo woo.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good.
He changed the
All right.
inflection on the woo woos to woo woo.
All right. Great.
I love that kid.
That's official
I love Bub Rub.
Oakland
There you
resident.
Yeah. Speaking of save states, Paul in Raleigh, North Carolina. After watching your Super NT stream, I noticed Brad's obsession with saves. And he's talking about the saves on my old Super NES games. My question is why? It appears he hasn't played most of these games for many years, and the saves shown on the stream look like they are all at end of game. Why does it mean so much to preserve them? Also, what's everyone else's irrational obsessions, gaming or otherwise? It's just nostalgia, you know? Like I put hours, hundreds of hours into those games as a kid. Like
You always think
those
that
are-
someday you're gonna go back into it.
maybe,
Maybe
well,
a
but like
little
you
bit
said,
of
like
that.
the saves are all at the end of the games. I
Yeah.
basically finished them all, but like I don't know, there's just something about having them.
Yeah, I can
You
see
know,
that.
like that's like hundreds of hours of my childhood.
Yeah, I've never had that with saves.
Yeah.
The only save I think I feel any real attachment to, or the only save that I would want to keep, maybe it's two. Original Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my town on a memory card somewhere. And my N64 pack with NFL Blitz plays for the arcade version
yeah.
of Blitz. Because that's such a dumb thing.
Oh yeah, sure.
That it was just like kind of cool and weird that you could do it. But yeah, I don't know. I never really had a firm nostalgia for any of my save games.
Yeah, me either. As far as like weird shit, I collect third-party controllers. I have a weird collection of that shit. Yeah.
I don't.
You got
I'm
a
completely
U-Force?
normal.
I don't have a
don't
U-Force.
I was really attached to my Pokemon saves.
There you go.
Yeah, batteries in the cartridges would die out.
Yeah,
Lost all my Pokemons.
Man,
it's rough.
Pokemon's gone.
I don't know. I bought 2 3DO games over the weekend. If you want to talk about weird gaming, yeah.
What'd you buy?
Sure.
I still have a 3DO controller. Playing somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Oh man, Star Control. That was the first controller that I could plug a headset into.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool. What'd you buy?
Flashback
Yeah.
and Microcosm.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they were both cheapish,
Sure.
and I like Flashback,
That's all
even if it's not the version I would. Anyway, yeah.
I like Flashback.
I was
a
at a
lot, too.
store that sells used games, and I felt like I should get something here because I like the idea
Yeah.
that there's a game store in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, in your neighborhood?
I mean, it's a bit of a drive, but
Sure.
not much of one. I was
Yep.
like, I'm gonna get something here. Let's get something I don't have. Let's buy some of these 3DO games.
There you go. Kept them in business another day.
Yeah.
Good for you.
This email comes in. I hope I'm saying this right. From Conquer.
I don't
Conquer, huh?
Let's go with that. No, I mean it's not spelled like that.
Oh.
I hope that's correct. With EA announcing a remaster of Burnout Paradise to universal excitement, and with Mass Effect Andromeda being what it was, is EA inching ever closer to giving us all the announcement we crave with a remastered Mass Effect trilogy? I never played most of the DLCs, including not having that dude Javik for the final game. He really missed out. And not playing the renowned Shadowbreaker DLC for 2. It's so expensive to go back and get them now. I
Yeah.
think I'd be happy with them not even redoing all the textures. I just want to play them with all the DLCs on my PC or PS4 without spending a ton.
The DLC is a good idea. Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I think those
That would
DLCs
get
are
me
all
to-
still full price, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Because you get the game on a sale for like $5 or $10, but then the DLCs are like another $50-$60 or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Is my understanding.
No,
they should-
they
they
should
should
not
do that.
They should not. Yeah.
Why should
No,
they not do that?
Someday they should remaster Mass Effect and put it back out, but
Yeah.
not now.
Yeah.
Why not now?
Because I don't want anything to fucking
It's
do
too
with Mass
hot.
Effect.
It's too hot.
Man, I feel like that would go a long way
Mass
toward
Effect
making me
gives
forget.
bad feeling.
I feel like I would help me forget.
Yeah, I
What if
need
they
I
fucked
need that to
that
get
up,
past
Brad?
the bad.
Brad,
feeling.
what
What
if
is
they
there to fuck?
fucked it
What is
up?
there? What is there to fuck up?
What?
Make it
Ask the
No, it's
Master
a
Chief
remaster.
Collection.
It's a remaster. It's a single player remaster. Make it run at 4K. It's fine.
I can wear my N7 hoodie again.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Not be
right.
ashamed.
And not
Not have people spit on you on the street.
I mean, that happens regardless.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
it's
it's
San
not.
Francisco.
Yeah.
in 7 or not. Whatever. Fine. Wait till the next generation of consoles, but they should do that at some point.
I'm with you.
I
Give
would-
me
I
at
would-
least, give me
I'd
at
play
least
it
like
at some
2
point.
years, and then talk to me about a Mass Effect remaster.
I mean, part of my concern is that BioWare's capital may be precarious.
Be a nice little
If Anthem doesn't
influx of
hit,
cash.
if Anthem
If
doesn't,
Anthem doesn't hit, then you know what'll make a lot of sense? Mass
I
Effect
guess,
remasters.
I guess, but that's assuming there's somebody there with enough cachet to actually get that green lit at that point.
That's not a cachet. That's
I don't know.
hey, put these back out because
Yeah.
we can't trust you with making a new game.
We'll see.
Remaster effect. Thank you.
Sorry. I was laughing about something else.
Oh,
not
yeah,
that.
the chat
No.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another email about Giant Bomb TV. So 900 of us just heard a dude suggest Giant Bomb TV verbatim, and someone on the video, this was the members only SNES Party 3, mentioned that Jeff had been wanting to do this for a while in 2011.
Yeah.
What took so long?
Getting someone to do it, it's hard to, like everything. There's
Everything
so
that
much
we
on
do
the
on the
plates
site.
of the engineers, and it's always been the case since we were separate from CBS and all. There's always so much going on that the things that tend to get priority are things that are going to have like a larger impact. And so it was like it was one of those things that everyone agrees is like would be a really cool, nice to have thing, but generally no one would give it the priority to like make it happen.
Yeah. And we can't ask them to just like,
we have some say over
Sure.
like, hey, here are things we'd like to see with the site. We're working
But
on.
we want to prioritize.
Obviously, like the redesign is a big deal.
Right.
The big wiki thing happening is a big deal.
I mean, that was basically a fun project, and those are hard to justify when there are like pressing needs.
Well, it's
being
the
taken
sort of
care
thing
of.
that like if you want to justify it, then it's like, okay, well, we think it'll do this kind of
Right,
business, or,
right.
or
Then you need a business case
This
for it.
person's time is worth this much money, and blah blah blah. This sort of stuff to kind of argue it up the list or whatever. And it was something that I talked about here and there, and everyone was aware of it and aware of the idea, and was like, man, that'd be cool. But it was never something that I was like super forceful about either. And so someone tried to build it a while back, and never really got into anything. Any kind of shape at that point, and it kind of fell off the radar again. And then we talked about it a little bit about wanting to do it, and then
It got easier for us to run to keep chat running recently.
yes,
fairly
yeah,
recently.
there was a big chat rebuild.
Yeah.
Chat actually used to be more expensive for us to run.
It used to be
Yeah.
like not
It's like a tenth of the price.
not
if
not
that.
negligible to leave
Yeah,
chat up
it's-
24/7.
Now it's fine, now,
Yeah.
but how it was built originally, or previously, because I think chat's been rebuilt a couple of times now.
Yeah.
It was more expensive for reasons I'm not fully aware of. But so that price came down. We figured out a few different ways to make it happen. And
ultimately,
basically, Will just kind
yeah.
of came over and said, "Hey,
I spent an afternoon.
we built this.
Or I
We
spent a
spent
day-
some time. We spent some time on this thing, and it's been running for a few days." I was like, "Oh, wait, what?" So yeah, it kind of just
he took it on as a pet project.
yeah. So it's,
Thank you, Will.
Yeah. So
It's
we got,
giantbomb.tv if you're
no.
No.
it's
No,
it is not.
giantbomb.com/TV.
Yeah. That's the
You're
URL
listening.
for now. It will be changing, but that is.
Oh, is it going to be giantbomb.tv?
No.
Fuck. What about watch.giantbomb.tv /
Giantbomb.com/Facebook/watch/ the worst
Twitch
videos on the internet /
The email was from Matt in Virginia.
Thanks, Matt.
This one's from Charlie in Japan.
So, what?
It has permadeath. Every run is different. You find new weapons, armor, and upgrades randomly generated around the map, but you don't get to take any of it with you after the run is over. Is PUBG a roguelike? I need your expertise to tell me how to feel
I was
about this.
wondering what game it was.
No, because
No.
roguelike is such a harshly defined term that
Mm.
people get very angry when you call things roguelike.
Yeah, but everything is now. I don't know.
but everything is roguelike like
Mm.
Or a roguelite.
or a roguelike light.
Oh,
Also no.
No.
Yeah, no. It does kind of line up, though.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Everything is everything. Like
Yeah.
genres in modern video games are just getting dumber as time goes on.
Skewering the line.
Mushier.
Yeah.
PUBG is a sandwich.
PUBG is a sandwich. Everything is an RPG.
What's on that?
The bread is the island and the plane.
Okay.
And the middle is the guns.
You thought a gun scorpion was cool. Try a gun sandwich.
Ooh, now we're talking. Okay. Ryan from Boston, quick question. Eggs or beer?
Eggs.
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 Yeah.
Both. Put an egg in a beer.
I don't think
No.
It's like a
No!
shandy.
I would do that.
What?
I would do that.
Why?
Let's do it right now.
That seems like something that like the worst Bloody Mary in the world would have. Like someone go like, and I cracked an egg in it.
Is it? Are
that's
you thinking like a
fine,
boiled
actually.
egg? Are you thinking scrambled egg? What?
Raw egg.
Raw
Just do
egg, crack it, put it in the beer, and drink it.
Are you going to swirl it or
No,
just
no, just down it.
bottoms up?
Seriously,
Hmm.
that would probably be good.
Would that disinfect?
No, it wouldn't.
Would that disinfect
Pretty,
alcohol?
Pretty sure.
Make it
Yeah.
safe
There's not
to-
enough alcohol
yeah,
in a
make it-
beer to
probably
make that
not.
safe.
Make it
Probably not.
healthy.
Ben, it's probably a thing. It's
Sure.
probably.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
If
It's
you
gotta be,
email us
sure.
and you're like, oh yeah, I do egg beers all the time. You guys don't do egg beers. You're lying. Nobody's done an egg beer. Egg beer is not real. Egg beer is not real. Egg beer is not real.
I only drink my egg beers in the shower in the dark. You should try it. It's a game changer.
Egg beer is not real.
Let's make it real. If it's not,
Shower beer is so overrated.
yeah.
Shower eggs too.
I don't want to drink
shower
eggs
egg
for
now.
sure.
Let's
Yeah.
not.
I would have a shower egg.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I don't want
A
to.
hard-boiled egg in the shower because you can run it under the water while you deshell it.
You
Get
get
the
the
beer
shower-
egg?
Sounds
It's
great.
gross to you.
Oh yeah, no, beer egg crosses the line. Shower egg, I'm into.
You can get that gross membrane off there that comes
Yeah.
off underneath the shell.
No.
Yeah.
I am pro shower egg. If you want to send an
No.
email, it's like I do shower eggs all the time. Then yeah, go ahead.
Like a hard-boiled one with
Yeah.
no, you can't get that.
Or
shit
like a
to
plate of
drain.
scrambled eggs.
No, man, I like my scrambled eggs dry. Last thing I want is like any kind of mist or fog getting on the eggs and wettening them to death.
Man, I
Or
don't-
moisturizer.
Yeah, no, moisturizer. Yeah, toothpaste. Like none of that on the egg.
Get egg in your eye while you're shampooing your. I don't
Yeah.
know.
People do that. That's the thing.
You don't like crack it like this.
People are different heights in showers, Ben.
Yeah, I get it. My shower.
I've heard of
hits me, like,
people.
here.
I've heard of people cracking eggs onto their dogs and like rubbing it into their coat to keep it nice and
Yeah,
shiny.
Weird.
So
Yeah,
maybe
people do it with their
you know
hair.
maybe you crack an egg on your head in the
I mean, I
shower.
know you-
Shower egg for hair.
I know you used egg whites for a mohawk, but
I'm gonna try
that's
that.
about
I'm gonna try cracking an egg into my head in the next shower and
Film
see
that.
if I,
Yeah.
All right.
Stream it.
Shower eggs
Film yourself in the shower for me.
coming soon to Giant Bomb. The shower egg saga.
I don't know who would pick beer.
Over
Like
eggs.
Alcoholics.
There's plenty. I get but there's plenty of other booze. It would be. I don't know that I could live without eggs.
Now, if it was wine coolers or eggs,
That's right.
Strawberries are eggs.
Don't
Shit.
fucking hands off my Bartles and James. All right. Last email from Ben. I'm eating.
Have you ever heard of somebody putting an egg in beer? It's fucked up.
I'm eating lunch at a place that puts rock concerts on the TVs, and today they have Guns N' Roses. And the first thing I see is Axl Rose in tighty whities.
Yo,
Is that common for him? Out of all the concerts I've been to, and I've seen Marilyn Manson, I've never witnessed something like that.
You gotta go to our Red Hot Chili Pepper show, my dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was
no
kind of,
thanks.
yeah, kind of with you on that. I don't know. I haven't seen the tighty whitey look with him.
I feel like
You were
that.
Googling
I
Don't
feel like
Google it.
that's.
Don't, Brad, no.
I feel like there's definitely an era of Axl that
at
was
that.
like stripping down into his underwear
I
during
mean,
shows.
there's this, but that's not like those are hot pants,
that's
right?
what those are bicycle shorts.
Yeah, those are like bicycle shorts.
Yeah.
They're definitely like the kilt,
That's what I think of.
like the kilt
There's
era.
the kilt era. There's the NWA hat era.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. I forgot about that. There's all the weird American flag shit, which apparently dovetails with bicycle shorts. I'm not seeing any tighty whities. I don't know.
Maybe that's what he meant.
Yeah, maybe you just meant
Maybe
the bike.
maybe he
I
messed
mean,
up
they
too.
are tight and they are white.
They're very tight.
That's probably what he's getting at.
I think so.
That looks like some Milli Vanilli ass shit to me.
But yeah, that was definitely a look for him.
Yeah.
Was those white bike shorts.
Right. We made it through a whole conversation about Axl Rose without mentioning reggae. It's amazing.
Didn't have to. It was implied.
That's true. That's a good point. All right. Bombcast@giantbomb.com.
Send us your emails.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless they're about beer egg.
Shower eggs, fine with Ben.
Yeah.
Would you consider pouring a little bit of beer onto eggs, just like a tiny?
I don't like the taste of beer.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm sorry. I drank my first whole cup of coffee this weekend. And I think I'm getting into coffee now.
Oh,
But
yes.
I'll never get into beer.
Coffee's all right.
James,
Please.
James
Yeah.
is the guy to talk to.
I've had 4 cups already, and yeah, it's just a bad time. Don't do it, Ben. I take it back. Don't
Yeah.
join me here.
Yeah, it's you're into energy drinks. Just stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like these mates.
Sometimes I drink coffee. It's like fucking Russian roulette.
So much caffeine in coffee.
Is there?
Yes. Like
How
a
much?
fucking lot.
How much is a lot?
Like way more than an energy drink.
I
It's
140 milligrams?
It's a
Like
lot.
per pound or not pound.
It depends which type of.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure,
coffee
it
you're
does
drinking.
vary.
Like, what about
Per
like shots of
liter.
espresso? Because if I go to like a Starbucks and get a drink there, I will. Just yesterday, I had a quad,
Ooh.
4 shots.
That's probably like a tall rock star and a half.
That's
I drank it and it was like nothing.
That's like 250-ish milligrams of caffeine according to this.
But sometimes I'll drink coffee and won't get extra shots in it, and it'll fucking get me wired. And not to look.
This is not going to tell me.
All right,
I'm
we're
looking
gonna-
at the
we're
It's
gonna
just the
case
state of mind.
If we
you're
get a
totally
little,
This one's got
if we get a little personal here,
140.
there's a third thing that sometimes happens when I drink coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Russian roulette part, except instead of shooting myself in the head with a gun, it's shooting myself in the mouth with, hey, you're going to have to go to the bathroom a lot later.
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah.
Jeff.
That
And,
happens.
when you least expect it. And it, like, why the fuck do people drink coffee? Because that's like 1 out of every 10 times. It's often enough to where, like, it feels like why the fuck do people do this? Does it happen to everybody? Is it just me?
No,
Right,
no.
right here.
Why just occasionally you drink coffee and it hits you that way and you're like, check this out, dog.
I mean, I still eat Taco Bell.
Hang out near the bathroom. Taco Bell has never done that to me. Never once.
Never?
Really? No.
Because I
Sometimes, like,
I'm fine with it too.
Hey, sometimes I'll have a stomach issue. Things will happen, but I've never been able to successfully tie
come
it
to the Taco Bell by my
food.
house. It is
I'm down.
not good. They closed
I
it for a week.
think I got a bulletproof stomach for like fast food type
They
stuff.
closed
Like,
it
it's
for a
never-
week because it got
Yeah.
robbed, but we can go
Yeah.
next week.
People were like, I did that the hot pepper challenge thing.
Oh, yeah.
At E3
Yeah.
one year when they were filming stuff, and
That was fun for me because I was just randomly walking by and then I
Yeah.
looked to the right. There's Jeff putting a pepper in his
yeah,
mouth.
it was harsh. It was rough. But then there were a ton of people that was like, it's gonna hurt even more coming out, and it totally did not. Like, is that actually a thing? Like, that's never
If you
been
eat
a
a lot
thing
of
for me.
spicy food, it can mess you up.
heard
No,
that.
That's,
Yeah.
that's,
It
that's
hasn't
never
happened
all
either.
right. All right. Got to check some things out here,
Last time I ate at Spicy Queen in Chinatown,
man.
it was a disaster.
I want to go to the Spicy Queen.
There's Spicy
cruel
King,
mistress.
Spicy Queen, and Spicy Emperor, and they're all spread out in the city.
Whoa.
And if you go to all 3, you learn of a secret
It
location.
triangulates into.
Ooh.
It's right in the middle.
Probably.
Well, luckily, if you out there have tales of gastrointestinal stress,
I just wanted to know. We're all people. We
There's-
all do this. I just need to know.
there's a venue for you to air those coming right up after this.
Yeah.
Oh,
call
yeah.
into the after show.
you wanna
Tell
hear
us
it?
about your bowel movements.
No,
in the after-
God damn. Well,
You guys will be live again shortly with that thing.
yes.
Yeah.
Come
Drink-
back and
yeah.
Talk about pour over and stuff.
Yeah. Hand tamping.
All right, well, let's get out of here so you guys can set up for that. This has been the Giant Bombcast. See you next week.
Customize your shave with the new Schick Hydro 5-cents razors and refills. Equipped with innovative shock-absorb technology, the razor auto-adjusts to how you shave. 3 custom gel formula razor refills enable you to further personalize your shave, while 5 Ultra Glide blades maximize contact to help reduce redness and irritation. Try Schick Hydro 5-cents razors and refills and experience a customized shave today. Available now at Walmart for an everyday low price. For more savings, visit schick.com. That's SCHICK.com.